CareFinder is a real estate company that focuses on property development within the Gambia. We pride ourselves with providing not just quality and durable houses, but also state-of-the-art designs tailored to our clients' tastes and expectations. Our unique experience and expertise is second to none in the industry. We are currently building and selling 3-bedroom bungalows at Sukuta Traffic Lights and Jabang. We're also building and selling 3-bedroom story buildings at Sukuta Paradise. Other sites are also in the pipeline. With CareFinder, payment options are available. With just 40% deposit, you can get your house started. For more information, contact us on 329-5188, 727-0049, 709-8418. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at CareFinder. With CareFinder, you are assured of a secure investment.
Nyatimbo ntemu APS leti. Ndemu APS leti. APS Gambia lemu APS ti. Katun APS is 100% Gambian.
Bari nyatimbo ete ku furi mbala kentala ni. Ke nyatimbo ntari taba futu wola. At least ya fonte ko APS min kullo balbiji. Imo fon fonya fon ka fonyo ko ibina do ibodo ko APS jam fane mo fana fonya nyatimbo. Yo mi fo enta sija. Ndanga moyro ko APS wallet isa ko do kino. Min tata fa wuli muang ime charge fenna wala nta sindi ja
ako natimbo nkoy ko kabo transuto kata wala fa wuli muang ite fenne dola womu zero file bitun kabo wo 20,000 la ka sele sal ike tamna ike charge na fa abuka fensi 1% da malam mati
wota yara gamen no be nyanta wala kana APS wala tele mobile ko ko do ki ibadi ngol
yaje ni APS kabrin nan credit ko to bari min kun mayata be wala fa mo kas pawat ni suto be during suto be dibinin abe tema biti kol sonda ila APS mobile lo sika ni asika to ya safe da men ko fen ko atondi nawek ha ni oto je nyamen do tachi ama ni ama do abanta ila kas power isa hawasima ajibe free joriti je
wata mbaden gameno albe sito wulle fisiyata alna leta APS wallet yela lambaylo kon APS wallet nyaata doro barin koto nim fata do so kon to
dañu be fono le mol ñala jam nim fata do so kon mbafole
basiti jembita ndo register jede kadu sa APS 100% namuti
APS 100%
APS
Gambia 100%.
Assalamu alaikum baringol ngali konton kale bismillah ko reke mo be kerfaade jibe kan alla di grand bantaba programme min kanale arjuma ni wato sida mbafula mobe ko juma mubarak mo be nyim programme jibe kan nyin sutolo anen nyin tembola ibe dawda mbe konton na Gambia jang anin Gambia bantal ala baraka bake alkadi grand bantaba no mo nyamen ala baraka bake alkastal men sel more al tenden kastal sen mole milba jibe kan Facebook bari milba jibe kan YouTube al subscribe na YouTube channel or subscription mo free leti al salom fanan ko mobe ibe Gambia jang ibe Gambia bantala inyanta app clean download dale mi alon ko abe nafala bakela wala APS airport ito le nyontangol ti Gambia banko kan jang mol ma nyo soso wala ni nata kodi kiola karola ito le nyontangol ti Gambia banko kan jang ini mo mantra nyo sabaka ngala fam wala na albedum Google Store wala Play Store aliela abo download albaje la ko alsi credit ko sanno nyin abo to le free of charge alsi cash power fanan sanno amanjeri sainfa pour aller ta fon avec pour kara cash power sangola natara APS abo be bulu isi cash power sorono jele promotion ibe promotion ke gande non sa promotion nyin sa fono le ka bantale because nyin karo tritan saba atambitale already bari mo jamal bi jele miyalon ko muna fanta cliano le miyalon ko wolle samba APS ye kodolu soroje cliano cliani min samba je ye wuli killing kemelulu ye wole dida altenden ka customer jamal nari bari momo mu grand bantaba fanti momo ka grand bantaba no al APS la abota ali download so mbafala mo be fananko momo lafta korda la dula kilindam Gambia banko kanjang walam care find that itolle mun jontangol tingina ra korda wa foro Gambia banko kanjang ye korda lorim bandingol sudele miyalonko ibasa nale chabo dila yeddungi la korda kono andum fanam kene kensangol be bulu Gambia dula fanna be to lafta dawda dron abe bulle mi alon ko abe senare mbakele fanan bari na traite kene kensangol be buli lafta loro la ker fanda ka loro fanan kele al sitano je ibala korda lo la wichola mi alon ko al lafta wala ito lam jontangol ni na korda wa fo Gambia banko kanjang ni tenduke je bake kanjum programme o fasa ka sembentu yande mutanale ne koteke de grand bantaba aning arjuma kotenna ngene welcome back.
Thank you, Buba. Thank you so much.
You look cute again. Again.
Oh, thank you. Yet again.
Yeah.
Affaire bi sama yef la. Man maa ko moom. Dama ko poñe.
Danga ko poñe waaw.
Poñe.
Danga ko poñe baña bàyyi.
Du poñe mun mun naa xootee ku nga rëcca. Dama ko kota.
Danga ko kota waaw.
Nga baat bi boo ko kotee rek jàpp nga yëpp.
yaa ko moom nag jëlal.
Sanse bi dama ko kota.
Jëlal. yaa ko moom.
Anyway, jërëjëf Buba di la jaajëfal beneen yoon. Di wax ñëpp ñu ñuy seetaan fans yi.
Please dama waal kii génne li fi dafa is too dark.
man doon ñëw excel mu foofu noonu
dafa bëri.
ana dafa am ku bugg a tigal ci studio bi.
moo ma si jaaxal te fii kenn fitam du fi yëngatu.
déggul
waaw mun tax xotal kenn man li ma si jaaxal rek guddi gii nii mun naa jóg rek mu mbokku daanu.
waaw
man loolu rek laa ci ragal. man ko loolu rek laa ci ragal. tanka loolu moom.
soo kurale yalo lampu kerfaru lampol ka fenkala bari it's too late.
No, it's a studio and we have the best lights, the best equipment. So it looks like daytime.
No, sa ajwero. Ko nene apilia ya
no, but come away. Ilafana parabriso but the
I love to lay about there.
By the way, it's a designer glass. It's very expensive.
It's expensive one.
Designer, right? Yes.
No, I'm just going to move.
I can do that PR for you.
That's what yes.
I feel like beard at Abelan Kawala.
No, you say original one.
No, you're telling me about designer? You won't know because I'm not.
No, mune ya say them. No, la ke ne ya say them.
No, o man neka say that. Dok mas say
that. Man d'accord na ak
mom. D'accord na ne bi.
Wow. Brand name. Yes. I just looked at it. I know the fake, I know the pirate, and I know the original.
Amango talul from.
No. La fatika means.
Thank you for taking it out.
Don't table.
Anyways, the jaje for Buba. Thank you for removing those glasses.
No.
To avoid a fall or a bump.
Yeah.
No, don't thank me for that.
Na bojamba na fonyin ko amba manual naka ñu uncle mbariñ ñu dama fogo ne mistake na mbariñ ñu mba manual nge kontong ya fonyin ko be nga konton drota ngadi bojang la ya samba ñi fonyi andi yo fonyi be di nuyu ñepp ñu ñuy sétane di leen wax ne dal leen ak jaama ci benen Grand Bantaba the show another Friday another grand guest wax naa leen ko saa yu nekk rek ñun suñ toog fii nii du ne pour paali and daali la waaye toog pour waxtaanee li nga xam ne moo lëmb réew mi waxtaanee ay waxtaan yoo xam ne moom la askan bi di joytu pour seet nuñ koy yaayee mu egga fi mu war a egga pour ñu seet nuñ koy saafaraay parce que lépp loo xam ne rek mu ngay jooyloo askan bi lu ñu war a waxtaanee la lu ñu war a ut yoon la pour gis nañ naka lañ koy daaxee pour ñëpp nekk à l'aise jàmm ne ñooy parce que jàmm rek a fi dee ku xiif munoo oote jàmm ku mar munoo oote jàmm ku tumaranke munoo oote jàmm kon yal nañu jàmm sonnal ñun ñëpp fekk kenn xiifut kenn marut di nuyu borom kër gi ak ñëpp ñi nga xam ne ñooy liggéey ci biir studio bi fi ni jël nuyoo bi nag taaj ko ci nga xam ne mooy Fatou Touré Mandi Mori in my Ousmane Sonko voice mu ne ko Fatou na Touré Fatou mu ne ko Touré Mandi Mori bu baax bi nag waaw boobu damay bugg a emphasize boobu Fatou Touré bu baax bi kon jël nuyoo bi taaj ko ci loxo mu séddale ko ñëpp di wax ñëpp juma mubarak yal na leen jàmm sonal yal na leen xéewal sonal yal na leen taranga sonnal kon buuba ñu dugg ci waxtaan bi daal gën a xuus ngeen xam suñ guest bi ak li ñooy waxtaane ci kanam buuba dina ko fesal daal ci kanam tuuti.
Thank you so much Mbayo.
Yeah, no bad about man, buuba, you know, the viewers will be content, you know. We APS for Janne, you know.
APS, yes.
The logo Tamila Banta.
Buuba ñaata 1005 nga jot
ya jaba kabri nga jawa ngay ba ka kete ko ya
bo ñu logo Tamila wala logo mo bela
nga wala ba nga dama ñew MCC mu ne ma half chicken ota
didit kay
non la wax way mu ne half chicken ota
half chicken ota
APS be do ko
la bari pour la kay half chicken ota no it's okay aba ci mon mele ba wala non koy ba
kon tey di nga def ñaari chicken suñ pare pour les
non tëj na
promotion bi jeex
ma nekk ni moom fu ma nekk xaalis boobu noonu ama ana fo mo nekk sama poste rek so
APS al promotion o murundi na
APS promotion wala murundi bare namol dunta jelle namol dunta jelle jama APS
ale mo jama ba so grand Bantaba be ba
APS yala men ka buba the system do sama kana no fundita jam no dol be faal
no be faal because APS is giving people free of charge like ni mu dol bije ni ka cash power sang they charge you $1 or $2 for APS is free no charges
no man daw fumala APS ka fen sama la anu security comme ka tanko so tanko na fulo kiwo na fonko tanko ila ko do tanka mo tele ko do tano la njayol men ke do ko do ki janni ba fulo ko 5 minutes o jalen 2 minutes ay commando ga ko na ki ron baldo aussi va no APS tanka bunda bale beje
na abdolo ko mo ko keno lo re
APS kana kula ali ibe banko bankido ni ko do beje la feka sama na APS ya bundi ba
no bayo lim le ka bari na parce que bayo li ko wax lo ni
no na do bole
bayo lim le ka bari na
lekana
Jesus
lekana no man dile lekana so suma xala
yang ma saf like talibo depuis bam amé moto bi talibo dafa gëna brutal dafa gëna waay
moto bobu gis nga ko
déedéet man gis naa ko.
non moto boobu
déedéet gis naa ko
di nga taal boobu mu ngi ko dawal
déglu ma.
déedéet nee yow xam nga moto sa moto mu ngi nii.
nee moto.
gis naa la si sa moto. yow taal boobu motom bi gis nga taal boobu si motom bi.
dawalut ko waaye man gis naa moto bi.
ñu wante dëgg yow gis nga taal boobu si moto bi mu ngi ko dawal.
nee am na moto tey. moto
bu es bu xew dañ la yónni ci man
moto es la am caabi bi téye naa ko téye naa caabi bi
so talibo
moto gisanguma ko
mun nga ko isi si Bantaba fi
waaye yow gisuloo ko waaye man gis naa ko
mun nga ko gis si Bantaba bi fi
kan
man mii nii boo xam ne dama amoon ferraille for 2 weeks ferraille boobu gis naa ko balaa mu yaaxu ma paas ko 6 mois
talibo ko yaa ko taxil de
taxi an taxi lu ma doo taxi ke sama na ay
500 naka wala so je lu
ko du ko yàlla mo jaxan yàlla ñu waati bindi yàlla na ko talibo tina talibo bi defantel la talibo bi musul la tema
ngeen xamul position de talibo
non ñaari jigéen la nekk muy nekk ci diggante ñaari jigéen
jow la nday yóbbante
non nekkul joo man lu may nekk ci wax la ko xam degul yóbbante nga même fa koy tamale
déedéet dama ko xam ne jow la ma noppi su dee yóbbante la dinaa ko aagal
yàlla mengi la mbar yàlla ay kugul la bi je nga ne ko ya bu ga la ka jamba because you know musu do ñëw mu mbar mus kende bal mbar mus kende bal bari nga même ko taal
solidarité
non solidarité de non man duma solidarité fii de man duma wax
man duma wax na imbali musolim ima sonna ka fo na tara nenelum ibe hataray la jag ya be
non ba man tali wala musu fulo le tema musu fulo le ñola tali bo na raje
tali bo boje
tali bo du même fulo tali bo
mané sos la
yow audio bi mu fi bu
sos la
nga audio la mooy la
play audio bi
nga wanti hañi la play la
kon amul
so
nay leer amul
anyway ala baraka ba gato mel kan jibe comme every Friday ngana le jang to tell you the current issues school me yalon ko wolle be keni jamano kam banko kam nalika kacha na hakile numu to je rek na fahamu do ko to nganan ka wala fo be na amin place ni mari Fatou Touré mba ko tan baake bayre ngatele modi me yalon ko atelen kundi na man gata tunu dan to sila no jang ay kabra yon kundi ay ko be kenye ko ko ni me yalon ko senyin do ko keno wa nyama abil runya je surati ni na staff to no be Mafule ko ala baraka bake. We are back again today, another Friday, to give you another big episode with a special guest. Talabo de biya botole, memuro da kodanke. Anong talabo fo da mantre. Dole fanan be NPP. Ay jikin du kabe kel gesoti. Lokun saba bilem e manna. Ala lon NPP ko lu ni ko mande platform de bukana.
Fo fafa lem fafa.
Fafa njay. Lokun saba aba folo ko mina abukana platform logun saba akabe kala special gesoti akela moy foko dan du lado akabo
anda kala demand so leke aka ko waji taraje de ay
taraje akan dal demand
aketel
buba ñu lu buka hañen kanya ngam mem fo
ay te so waji ñewé du ñew 3 weeks ago waji ñew na ñewut last week ñewut this week ñewut
du musa ñew
hey holal
te dafa xaar be elek
man ma yoré book bi fafa def na ko ci blacklist
waaw
so mang la yoni waxal ma fafa man ne def na ko ci blacklist
uli du sano mu ñew sa way la ko mu
ñew wax fi lan
mu ñew rek du sano mu ñew mom moy national amin ki ni mom moy political advisor bi mu ñew mu
wax lan
MPP pour sen politics bi mu ñew ñu wax
da xam na luy go on sa
can do do is a PhD holder in politics Muhammad Lulu.
Okay.
Grassroots politics is a PhD holder.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Ablay, welcome.
Thank you. Bemol yo kondona. Ko datio ma kondona mo be do ko la Gambia yang Gambia Bantaba. Na nyaton ko politiko to dino to. Na wululal dol mumela wululal especially fan na wululal special thanks to Sister Nene and congratulations you know ka moto mange fenti bob
ya fennam de
we will come to that
man bubu dama ko yoni ci man
yes parce que
Nene moto closer ale lorim bandaja
you know
ada na wala ko moto da mayena narsibo nyam there must be an investigation
we will start after
there must be an investigation because you must know the source of the car
car moto
because
albe back and side nal kara Nene ya direct mu jam valti you should come through us
the source of the car must be known because amenyame nyimu jam administration wala trésor be jele admin director be jele so nin ku kake on ma kala muta
exactly to nyalo abla continue
yes congratulations because yalo dunia ko liatale ka mo tete ka bring amanke fenti for be a graduate you know is really something commendable and we pray alaya min nyato
amen
she is a good woman and we need a million of her in this country.
Thank you.
And not only in this country, in this world. We cannot say much about, but we require or ask or implore Gambians to pray for people like her. You know, she's a very good person. And the entire team. Yes, and we want to I'm being sent, so I have to say it. You also know Costa Rica is bad and
very, very
it's
bad.
A disaster waiting to happen if the drainage is not worked on and so on. So
kami barona rame tranunje na tranunje mbirage ma fala nyi silo ya stadle kan de pour kan wena antolia because no I'm serious o Costa Rica silo ya stadle ntolbe sire janenge comment ngo nga fala ya stad berol jurmaji iparera saying wo berol fo min jurman mtemam berol fo le jeje saying kan kenso e ka wole jeje ano sa so ina dal bare mutol fo mu ka gare no saying ano sa
ko mo dakele
aba yo stop le ameta
stop
you know
I joking
yes you stop le ameta
so akum de
a day before he came
you was
yalo fenkol bijele roadsol yalo roadsol bijele be sapri
yes
there was no
protection exactly
a day before Barrow would come fele melori lu mena banana ndebe fuelo sankan jawala melori president melori nyana but the reality is ndenga memmo foto nyata he has said somebody told me para keba do ko nyako fuelo ko me alla nyi silo de man kontan wala costa bon silo
No, but this is
It may not be something public, but I had Mel Tangtage Akoeko and he's not happy. But we are also telling him that you don't bogla silo menna. Ye kenyole law will come. So you just the small again. It you are from.
Yeah.
So we are asking that they speed up or do something about it.
Among the speed up, doko kumasi because I man track kang. Ni akuma ni ba kang speed up. They have stopped everything.
But
Doko man track kang.
Normally, for the drainage system, because I need concrete already. There is no drainage system.
Yeah.
So basically,
concrete go man futan na suo kono. Ni bara.
It's just a short distance.
It's a short distance. Damen concrete. So what happened is, in fact, motol ka garianin damen na. Slabo le loje. So motol from boka gare dazo. You will tuje. So normally after the concrete wall nyanta bolano. So you will concrete go build to itati la hajola. So say ni mo.
And there is enough space.
Poster sudo ni salto jibe ka kankan waleje.
So I will do cooler. I will do what you around September, December. Then can account also.
Dolfona na carte be mulle.
Then can account also.
Na carte be mulle.
Hello, erare.
Nimbaro internal I would have tried pour ntebe diamula and mbafala ko we are not happy because in silo you know abe moja male kurande kang. There are a lot of people working there mi alonko it a $10 afford no like a mask sang pour ka ke. Yeah, exactly, you know.
Well, right now it's not even that. Well, if it doesn't rain, then you will have the dust.
No, garden yaga by ligue.
Well, no, like then why hanga right now taw we start na dinyo,
yeah.
right? So the guy is it's all going to be poto. Then so neke poto. The guy is the far turn to potholes.
Yeah.
Because it's not too compacted. It potholes. So lolu mo de ya hamuto because the guy nyonga gis ndox hamulo how deep nga ñew understand so defun dank nga ne bundung sa bull jointy, you know, so many things can happen to the car.
Even dust, because what happened is, if rain doesn't come for like 5 days, a big ponder, and that is going to give more harm to the people there. So it is very important, Mr. President, because the problem is, before you make visit to some of these places, all what they will do, they will go there,
that's what they did.
When you come,
I saw that
myself. Everything's okay. When
they came,
okay.
So
I will advise you,
and
Mr.
so they move
that code.
The roads,
you have your own intelligence.
You know, that's what they did. I was there. I saw everything.
So
I think li war di def moy bum de nek announce visits.
Exactly.
You know what? Bum nek announce because again, mo wax nako priority number 1 is naka roads. Roads. 3 all the top 3 priorities. So lolu dafa wara nek bébém te dafa wara nek lo xamné you know legacy la lolu la bëgga build. So bum nek di len jox information then because suy ñëw dañ dee dem ñu defar for the optics moom loolu la moo gis because nekkut an engineer pour xam the depth of things the strongness and all that thing waaye da ngay gis ne su defee on announced visit mu fekk ko the state it is then dina mun a ask questions based on that.
I don't think being an engineer, you know, in some of them, because the thing is, I mean, all these roads, you know, before they even start doing this job, they normally have the plan, you understand, and
feasibility studies,
so the president was able to get those ones and try to, you know, offer himself to, you know, the way.
Munta offer bopam lolu fokk ñu dimbalé ko. The technician, the technocrat,
technocrat ana mom du dem la jang.
Tede way bayo ne waxante dega yow suñ la indélé design so jox la ko. You just look at design coordinates and figures.
Yes.
It's not the
but
area.
you cannot tell, you cannot explain that because that's not in your area.
No. But
exactly.
But what I'm saying, all those things you are saying, the specifications are normally in the design, and these specifications are always measured. And you can able to know 2 meter, 3 meter, whatever. You know. So
but okay. Let's say you jox la ko in paper. Bayo ñu jox la ko in paper. Yow nga dem nga visit the site.
Yes.
How are you going to relate what is on paper and what you are seeing if you are not a technician or a technocrat in that field? It's not possible.
It's not about being a technician. What I'm saying
no, but in this field it is necessary.
You are not the one who is doing the design. For example, if you come here, for example, now this design, the design of this house, for example, the front face. You saw the front face in the design, for example. You came, you happen to see a different front face. Are you not going to know that? I mean, what is in the design, the 3D, or I mean, and what?
Okay, now you're getting into when they give it a 3D, nga hold the actual. You can tell, but we are talking about the specifics.
No, in road design. No, what I'm saying, in road design.
Road construction.
see the contract called the
Yeah, you go to the area.
It's my area, I know it. I know it. It's my area, I know it.
Okay,
I swear to
Allah.
No!
I'm only interested. I'm only interested in this debate because
you know 5 plus 10 or 20 minutes.
Okay, so
but this one also engineering mode.
Okay.
By Malulu.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, henya yo hanga ko yo mun nañu ko design naka hanga wa why dama la wona Barrow is not an engineer, Barrow is not a contractor or anything else. So who ko ñew ko tiye kay di wax ne fi dafa ron de secteur ñu ko neka
He must have a basic knowledge about construction.
I will not fault you for that.
Professor,
I've ended my greeting.
Thank you so much.
Munta neka.
Nene ko ñaari ko
lu ko jam do wax lu degul dafa important xam nga déedéet am na yéen ay tamit understand nga let's not just brush it, let's call a spade in my biased voice, you know, spade géej naa ko digga mu wax lu let's call a spade amoon na 1 week by wax mu wax ne let's call a spade so now I want to call a spade comme li Bojang wax ne am na ko wax ne xamul ndax turu ndax tegal na du dégga ne Barrow wax na ne kontaanut waaye to just give him credit also, we have seen several times mu dem inspections right there with the cameras and he says I am not happy either because of the quality of the work or what is seen or the time because they delayed. He has said it times without number. Okay, I say kudos to that. You have manifested noble work. But what do you do after that? What do you do? Do you just sit there and say, okay, I'm not happy, you are delayed, blah, 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 blah. Then how do you tackle that? Because there were consequences to that. Then we will not see such happening over and over again.
Yes.
So the point then you want to buy loan time, hold people accountable. But you cannot just sit the whole world tell them and you have delayed the time and blah blah and then that's it. You move on.
But I recommend last week I was here. I mean week before last, and I said it. I really commend the president for the visit he has been doing now. Some of the surprise visits to the construction site. I really give him, I said it here. I mean, when Talibo was here. Now for Janunko, press now.
So Talibo must say that.
Because you are denying it. So now for Janunko, press now can make it. Akata kafuta doku blalto. Na credit indiala. Amango come man credit. Anta man tajang. I am a person me alone kunde buka muna karala koka. But come fana foja wolam ko. Come foja wolam nyuntu ko. President Barrow. Na ma long. At some point, now put it on the ground. Melial long ye katala.
You have changed it. You have changed it.
No.
What you said earlier on, you should know.
You should know.
Don't change.
You should know. I stand.
So now why are you saying it?
Mandina news in I am a guest normally.
No, as a president.
Can you listen now? So I'm doing a program auto wale.
I want Babu to VAR what he said previously and now is different.
Ngalunta umin soto ba dundi la saying but bekachala kudol la janning atenata minna ka wakacha ngamin soto walem Lamin Dibba Secretary General the Gambia Bakers Association
the National Bakers Union.
National Bakers Union. Okay, all right. So walem multimia lonkole marari mburu jano la Gambia banko kanjang alialo ni mburo da la fale kabo dalastan karafo dalastan nimfula ye wole la fa kuma kawol mi alon ko wolle bada mansakunda kabri ko ye mitino soto with stakeholders and njigirale ko to they are very important stakeholder be tarra mitino to le so ina tam mburo la fa bari ina ta fale ko mburo la kulia ala wait o itol fanan janta wala fala le mansakunda wala safe la press statement o bada mi alon ko wole fintindi adi kibata bari ngajele ko kabrim ko commencé da min tarato min tambita mburo manketale mburo mansoto why amansoro but munatin na mburo be rafa kan and what is the relationship in fact with the government nyo sabol ka traité mala ñil debe kala kolleti mi alon ko ambe kacala Mr. Dibba, welcome.
Thank you very much, Gajigo. Thank you very much to the Grand Bantaba and our beautiful viewers. It's an opportunity to obviously be within the Grand Bantaba. The Makodan enjoy Torop, the Makode follow, and really? Very interesting things new day new fee.
Thank you.
Lila muna def as patriotic citizens. So you toge si platforms si, nenyu wahi yefi numel. Yow lu nga mun kenen lu mun suñ ko defé rek deka bi dem. I want to still applaud the Grand Bantaba from the management to the entire team. For the good job, making the public actually know realities within the country, and also recommending actions, like I say. At some point, our advocacy styles ak suñ engagement styles suñ gisee problem duñ ko magnify rek comme nu ma dee wax in other programs that I do we see the problem as a general problem waaye man lu ma si mun naa wax loolu lu ma see def tamit ñu wax ko keneen ak keneen su ko defee rek dëkk bi gën a dem mu yomba. I'm very pleased to be within this team. Together we can build this nation.
All right, thank you so much. So,
I like it when you rectify and say it's like Bakers Association. You're like National Bakers Union.
Yes.
The emphasis. Yes. It's a union. It's not an association.
Not an association at all.
I like that.
Sure.
Thank you.
So, in case more topic called Milkacha is about politics. Ni lafta diamla any topic like you can let me know. I will be able to yellow opinion for you. But we're going to start with video mi along ko le findira United.
Wait, buba balanga mo fana mo mugona wax tuuti si fi
construction
roads yeeg yooyu noonu ay amoon tuuti
loolu noonu dinaa si ñëw man from background we are from the humanitarian background and few of our ethics before coming to unionism is impartialism and voluntary at some point and very neutral. In everything we do we are completely apolitical. In every scene I can give everybody to follow. You will not see us anywhere. But not that we are not playing our quota in national development. I still stand by those values. Why in reality, particularly road construction, obviously, in fact, you say certain opinions in law. To road construction, I'm not a technician in that. Why there are processes you have low and okay, for example, the coastal road area, then we build. A particular team was built to survey and tell them the specifications based on the environment. Ak lan more need for the thickness of the road and even nakala moemel. Consultants yang fa, engineers yang fa. They give a report before. Those reports are analyzed, worked on, budgeted at some points, approved. So in the may up to implementation, those technicians and the person responsible with it, the National Road Authorities, the President, wow, dafa am a supreme responsibility from all these things. Why? I'm not somebody who responsible. So a contract is given to completely tell the particular technician or the head of state to be specific with certain things lu nga xamne su demé ba ñew loolu lañu jël as checks and balances to make sure does it commensurate with the budget and does it commensurate with the specification the standard buñ wax ndax mu fa. So those people send responsibilities loolu I drove on the roads most of the times dama day am international guest suñ nekk ci route ñu ne so baye xel liggéey bi luñ lay def comme ça lu mu doon wax ni the far maker specific with a condition. But the disappointing thing is, man agyo kunyakar at some point, as the architect or as the engineer, to advise based on certain realities. Soon deviated with some of our responsibilities. That's where we are failed by people we entrust certain responsibilities. So you work out to everyone listening, where we are expected to protect the budget lines that we are given for specific activities. Nañ ko def nu waré jub nak metti na waaye nañ try ku wax fii man dama jub 100% ñu bari dinañ point the other finger back to you. Waaye nañ try. Nobody is perfect.
Okay, thank you so much. That was a very good opinion. Nene, so dañoo started si video bu xewoon the United Democratic Party seen women rally buñ defoon in Yundum gis nañ jigéen later dañ ma wax ne Fatou Konte la tudda gis nañ ñu ngi ko dóor si video bi ñu condemn ko ñu bari na condemn nañ ko online waaye some people are in support of it. Well, that is democracy. What is your reaction to that?
Well, thank you, Buba, and I'm glad we are talking about it like we do on every other issue related to such. Amut haj accent, amut faram fache, amut ñu fatam fanso. Again, man teluma ko gis waaye bima ko gisee straight away xamee naa ko parce que xam naa ndaw si xam naa ko so bima gisee xamee naa ko straight away. Well, ñi ko doon dóor it was difficult to identify ñan lañ at that short video beginner. Why again boo waxee ak nit ñi involved or ñi jege ay yooyu noonu they will explain to you, you understand, the extent of the beating or the fight, whatever they want to call it, why it has happened. But lima wax moy not to say lan mo xew, right? Fam commencé ku togn ak ku tognut. But what I want to say categorically clear, like I always do it, I think that was too barbaric as civilized human beings in this 21st century to act in that manner. Despite what the disagreement was, for now war nañoo am nuñ ko waroon a handle because information I've received ñoom ñëpp si parti bi lañ bokka and it was coow bi mu ngi starté at a party event right boo xam ne dafa waroon a nekk a happy moment a celebratory moment you know seen party leader mu ngi fa woon almost most or all the top brass were there but again boñ ak Lamin ñëw dika you know xëccoo munta ñàkk ci lu nekk because su mu nee xew si diggante jëkkër a jabar mag ak raka yaaya doom kon duñ ne buleet o nene maaje mu xew foofu noonu waaye man suma emphasis suma bugga mu nekk mooy ne I don't think that was warranted whatever the case may be again I am not demeaning I know the woman okay I know her very well this is not the first time I've heard or seen her have some kind of back and forth push and pull you know in different forms with other people despite all that man I don't condone anybody at any level you take your hands and put it on another human being I don't care what the person must have done to you in the extreme situation boo xam ne your life is in danger you know it's a dead or alive situation right mun nga defend sa boppa right and boobu noonu one can excuse because xëj na soo defutoon a certain reaction borom munoon na la rey or munoon na la laagilo and things like that you can do certain reaction and possibly it can justify it but in this particular situation man I said it was totally uncalled for pour man it is unacceptable pour man it is barbaric pour man it is uncivilized pour man it is inhumane to do that and again what I saw is not moom ak ñaari nit rek ñu taxaw ñu xee it was a group of women ñu ko sot ñu ko dóor allegedly gisuma ko but I heard ne gaañ nañ ko I heard ne dem na lopitaan I heard ne she had stitches and whatever the hospital must have done some x-ray scanning whatever was it. So that also tells the extent of the injury or the wounds that she sustained. So it's just not done. At the end of the day, it's a disrespect to the entire party. It's a disrespect to the leadership. It's a disrespect to us who are not part of the party, but Gambians and our stakeholders to everything else that has to do with Gambian. Right. They need to know better, they can do better, and therefore let them do better. Okay. I don't know how they're going to solve it within them, but also I think one part of la gisne, because the video it's a rally bohamne. I don't know whether permit was sought. If permit was sought, because I'm hanging didn't touch you on the feel or whatever, I don't know. But whatever the case is, UDP is a big party. So in such a big gathering, I think warning you notify the state to provide them with security. Because such a gathering, so security, I think it's paramount. Such gatherings, security for just those hours. Possibly such a thing would have been averted. Right? I'm just saying possibly because gisuma any security, gisuma anything else or whatever, it was just them and whatever. So then a security neko for one from the state order. Next time nyom nenko fateleku, you notify them to provide them. I'm not saying seek permit or whatever, but notify them to provide you with the security.
Yeah, that's important. Why so
for your own security.
Incident B, it seems like it happened after the program. All of niti so whole video be borbum nega negulo di just niti bar. It seems like ñu ko nekk di fightal ak moom ñoo fa nekk. It seems like program bi xew na already, people have gone home, then they attack each other or they attack her or she attack them. We don't know what happened, but
no, we don't know what happened before and after, but on the video we saw her being attacked.
Yes, on the video,
not
yes.
Even we saw her being beaten.
Yes, on the video.
Yeah,
we don't know how it started. So that's
beaten.
a very second.
And that's what I am focusing on.
Yeah.
What happened before and after, I am not privy to that. Yeah. But I am condemning what I saw on the video as just not right.
Okay.
It was totally unacceptable. Right. And as civilized people and women as well, because jigen laugh against, do one go.
Yeah,
you know what? I jigen laugh against because man, that's very difficult for my hair at jigen or go after a jigen. We don't go like why time a safet la. They got set which. No, we don't go why I jigin la. So it's difficult for me. Why we can do better.
Okay.
You know, honestly.
Even rally dula right ngila live jele no what happened for any incident kalamotale.
Yeah, thank you so much, Buba. Abarakabake for bringing that issue in Samana. Actually, Natra issue in Manalo, I'm not going to speak about it. But barring issue in another platform, I have to speak about it. Kule meya longo, kumanga memfoto ko violence, fitno mumanyana ka fitno kanu, anunde fitno kanula. Fitno man beta society kono. Fitno mo Cairo tinya ramalti femfense Cairo tinya ndol be nyanda kato kala pour ka jam fawala ko mata je bakele napati ye kayto findindile ye tandroge ko kula nyindi me alon ko patio ya konne patio malla fala patio ya akela ko kunyawon wala
alla patio la statement o man I'm not happy with it.
I didn't even see it.
Imanya address la as in Femco issue, private issue. I think it's party issue because I get at the ground.
Yeah, basically, I'm not part of the media team. I'm not part of the PR team. So basically,
so Tombong
situation. I mean, so but
Yankuba is part of the media team.
No, I know he is not part of the people who write that press.
No, I'm not saying part of the people who write, but part of the media.
Yes.
UDP media.
He is the deputy admin, but I can tell you, he is not part of the people who write.
No, but he's part of the team. So when the team pulls something, you
are not part of.
It's everybody's responsibility.
You are not part of UDP.
I am not.
So when I am not. Buba, I think Nene should stop one thing. Platform model. Interject knowledge. That is no problem. But I'm always interjecting people. It's not fair. Because you've been talking here.
It's
not about victim. You've been talking here. Even I have been listening. So please.
Well, possibly you do not have any reason to interject.
Allow me to speak.
Possibly. And I would never have had a problem if you do.
I am not going to. What I'm saying is I am not going to do it. Okay,
but that's your choice. But you cannot also deprive me from having to do it if I need to do it.
Allow me when I'm ready. If you have any interjection, you can bring it.
Bayo, I want to make it clear because Buba brought that. Who is part of the team or who are responsible?
Okay, so
I'm trying to say I know people who are there.
What I'm saying,
the Tombong, the Kemo, the Yankuba, they are part of the media team.
Whatever you know.
So it was wrong for you to say yes, he is there, but he is not responsible for the statement. It is a team.
Whatever you know.
Like hello.
Whatever you know, you have been told. And whatever I'm saying,
tell us. No, but it's out there.
It's very simple.
But it's not a media thing. It's out there. Everybody knows who is responsible for the media team. Bio.
Yeah, it's okay.
Are you serious?
What I am saying, I did not. Yankuba is not part of the media team.
Yeah, just continue.
I did not mention Yankuba here. I said no.
No, Buba asked about the team.
No. Listen, and I said clearly, Kuntamantara media team, Buba in Karaoke. Guy Kuntamantara. I did not mention Tambo here.
No, just
Buba mentioned it.
But Buba mentioned.
Can we listen? Let me just.
But I am Buba.
The problem here is Yankuba's name being mentioned.
No, can we listen?
No problem.
If you want, you can mention Yankuba's name multiple times. That's no problem. If you want, you can even go to the council. You keep mentioning Yankuba's name. That is not my problem. I am talking about the program Kono Jang. I think it's completely fair. I will keep quiet when
I don't have anything to say. When I have the need to interject, I will. Unapologetically.
No, but can you listen?
I am not asking you to apologize.
No, continue, sir.
I'm not you are here for yourself, I'm here for myself.
Continue on the video, please. Continue.
Okay. So, na patio Savero kele.
Okay.
Right? Patio Savero, amenko komen mafoko kabinta kadia menta mafoko na media Savero. Ngoilo ko na patio Savero kele. Right? So that is what I said, right? So mang taraje ka moto mentionné, right? Na party ole saveroge. And I take that either more clean from asave. I think it has the party. Party ole save.
Yes.
So party ole savero nying ita ko idida mon content. That is your umute fana opinion. You understand? But inte as a party member, you understand? I mean, ko nyi me ya lonko asafeta. I have to accept it. So at the end of it, I have to accept it because party ole save already and it's already out. Alinta mention ala mun na fala betar la. So but member je wulam nyinto ko. Nimu kuleti, kula meya lonko, it is unfortunate, right? And then it's also important, like you mentioned it here, yapu janako, kula meya lonko aketale programo kola, kula meya aketale programo kola, ka bring programo be banta, mule dual bake everything, people start going, some people have even gone, okola le nyim fitno nyim keta, and num fitno nyim aketa. Musol ning musol damal le tema akeda musol damal le tema musol damal le dunta nyola andung fitno nyim mem fananketa akeda musol damal le tema fitno of what nature ntol ya kon and ntol la pati ya kon and in fact na pati ni la diamo ulu alota men kan wala nyindi ko nyim pati man ga fitna pati oti and that is very clear mobula o pati mobula pour que fitno ke o dula nyinto because fitno man ka UDP la 50 bari fitino nyi aketa yalong ning ko fanan keta one thing I believe ko kurunding pour que ato nya londi ko commence du la fo ya samana ni mon ko commence du la samana at the end of it to nya ni ndolo because justice buka di without evidence and evidence must prove ko how it all starts. Fat Konta mole me yalong she is my sister, I respect her. But tonya a manque comme Patio Alpha man diam Fat Conte. Patio Alpha has been talking to Fat Conte several occasions. Fat Conte immediately ka yamari. Yamari. But Fat Conte keep doing this, and I think right now the way Kofuta Damento, the final step Patio mentala. You understand? Na longo what nimul bejam falanyola at some point. Because remember you only no but the final mafoko lefaka bay but I know ko particular finance level mentala Fat Conte la koto bayring nim mome ya lonko ni na da kafoko no ina da particular bondo what ini mul ka du nyola the solution o me ya member atne ni mul do du nyola nalo nako metembo men ko me level men ko bala amanga kilinti amanga fulati amanga sabati anu ni mome na be keta pati alfal kadi ayamarle na cede ala kat ko patio alfal ka kumandile ka yamarle UDP mo pande de patio me alan ko ibuka koronto ka mo bay because ku lebe je wolam nyintu ko nyaaje buka koronto ka mo bay ka yamar loleke ka yamar lole tambindi folo anu yamar lol nyin wol ketel keta anu mo be Fat Conte ka audio bondile Fat Conte audio jamal bondi jang ka mol neng different people ol neng ka some party senior executive members solta ke neng
in UDP
ay audio bondi na ay neng akina jan senior executive members Fat Conte abe ka jan yena na ta ko denke mino e kata programme eventual ke damon to fanan ko denke ika bulawo executive wala ko ke neng fo ni mol ka du nyola ye commandi diamute yala
Is the beating being justified here, or we're talking about the actions on the video? Because I'm about to lose that thread here.
The same thing.
Okay.
I mean, ini musol dam male du nyola. Alwe musu nandro folo musnandro duntal tema. Musnandro duntal tema. I mean, to a level for that see for aldam maltara nyolipa. Because video membota video ni ikajelo ko nyolipal. I'm not here to justify violence but video member video ni $10 go nyolipal. And even at the police, police photo, by looking at that video, police only bear charge. They did not charge only those people. The other side, they charge Fat Conte and they charge the ladies also. The other people because violence ni keta nyame ni video ni jibe libaro keta takane bata fana jiro kel. And loi kamenta ni woni ko nan kelo keta public to mo loi ka jibe le fo mo be daba kono. So mentandi the video to woni ko mo bele fitno ke. And what na police they charge all of them. Loi atandi wala nyama. But at the end of it, memem follow you go fitno manyang and UDP will never encourage fitino. And the party leader alota jele ay même fo je ko itale fer ay fo jele ko UDP manke fitna party and in fact demba sabal la kuma kawo there was a day me alongo ay demba sabal la fitna kuma kawo nyinta ka dibong so me yamaro men dila wala nyinti ko momo ya lonko itala UDP la ilata UDP la policies la ilata UDP la principles la UDP la alfalu and UDP la party policy mansom fitno la and we will never encourage fitno ñun ko on kule me alon ko aketa na ko konne na ko bayle anu nto sonna ka ko ako nyo momo yalon ko aketa ko renke party be step tala step me yalon ko ajam fatal anu to make a justification about that kaje ko UDP always condemn fitno at all time. After presidential election 2021 there was a party member me yalon ko audio bondi I small family along go igarauta. But the party leader of the party, when he finished, I condemned and he asked for you know the police to arrest him, and that guy was a member of the party and the person was arrested. So you can't go. UDP will never condone any fitno, and UDP manga fitna party.
Thank you, Baye. Thank you so much. Abarka Baki, Mr. Boja.
You see, amazed, right?
Video in Jubel. You watch the video?
Yes.
Okay. So, what is your reaction on the video?
Yeah, my reaction is, it's something that nobody is going to make nice. It's unfortunate. Aketale. I cannot, by the look of the video, say it is UDP. But because Bayo actually had now confirmed that these are people that he knows. Okay. Yeah, the appearance looks UDP. The timing looks UDP. But I don't know them, so I cannot know who is this and who is that. But for me, I'm appealing to our mothers. Politics is decent. Yeah. Let's make it decent. After all, some of them will not even be in the office. It is us that you're doing this politics for. Please, we are your kids, we are your children. You know, it's better than your attack or like and stuff like that. Yes, the thing there is we cannot have anything that will bring people to a party if members are actually fighting. It makes people have reservations, sila patingina and so on. So I think I would also urge the leadership of UDP to do a lot of internal, kind of sensitization to their people or identify, kind of those that really would lose it. Talk to them and give them the necessary support so that they avoid some of these ugly occurrences. Because as he puts it, if this murder has been doing something like that, as a party, I think not only advice, probably they could have engaged some experts, to help her. That helps. I understand. It's not a government or so, but
kind of psychosocial support or therapy or counseling.
If it has been happening over and over and over, then you would fault the party if only addressing her or talking to her at a human level or so. Probably she is suffering from something else. Probably she is obsessed with UDP. That happens.
Because the trend that Bayer has said here is not a normal trend.
Yes.
It's not a normal person that should be that will behave in that way in a consistent manner. It's like every gathering, you will be the one to be called out because you have done something. And you napa ko.
So maybe that has not been happening, and this is not for UDP alone. No, institutions can do that. Let's see if these things are happening. Let's engage so that we avoid it. At the end of the day, if something like this, happens, even those that don't actually love UDP will now say, "Leave water."
Yeah, they use it as a basis.
I can tell you this: in 2016, my own mother, biological mother, was pelted by the coalition caravan in my own village, right before me. And at that time, people said, "You didn't be called, it's all Yindo." Yes, even within. So if these things are actually happening, I think that is something that the party should look at. But that doesn't make me hate UDP. I don't look at people from that perspective. Of course, it hurts me and up to date, I don't like it. If I had known the guy who did it, we would have an issue. But then, I think if there is a member in the party who is consistently doing this, I think the party, UDP is an elite party. They should have somebody who has some, psychological or whatever, emotional intelligence and so on, experts to help.
I'm available for consultancy.
Oh yes, so I think that is it. But then, Bamal Danila,
pro bono, no charge.
Then Bamal Danila, please, Alka Politico Kentuli. Fitino, to be frank with you, is not nice.
Yeah.
Ngal Dani, you have issues. Channel them to the right phone call. Some of these things. Also, those people that are taking these videos, Bob, I don't like it when I see it that way.
I understand.
I understand, but then you need to understand that sometimes these are our mothers.
Yeah.
She will not be happy seeing beaten. That's the truth. Yes, it's evidence, it's good and so on.
Okay. Model bijele nda audio dole. Bari nini festa yene. The police ko badula.
Yes.
That is the reality. I'm
Some
not justifying
people,
butero.
yes.
Ntema musuni onye follow. Ntele video bande, but later kabri ngaje.
Oh, by the way, you are being faulted. Juma nyanta jube nyanta lonna. Juma le video send boba kateko of care Fatou. So it's a gossip. I'm telling you. Some people are not happy about it because they blame you.
Yeah,
I was like, if it didn't happen, you know, video, you know, share.
Yes.
So you
This really looks like it's from within.
Boba is a journalist.
It's from within.
It's from within. So,
yeah.
but I think UDP resolution ne passed when ila Janjamure Congress I was there. They passed is a resolution or Congress they go ni mol milk and endro and social media come on attack the sign. Party will stand they can even ban you from the party. But I think they should start using that now because already a passed it. But
it's not been implemented.
It's not been implemented. So I think this is the right time. There are a lot of issues along what they are happening. Okay, in UDP right now, whether WhatsApp, Facebook, or Facebook and other places. Let them set example. If you listen to Dabo, you know among the problem what you listen to Ajiyam Seka, you listen to their leaders. They are not those kind of people. But there are more bijemia along party way. Now you pass this resolution, use it, implement. Set example, because Nimola alphabet searing right now tending Yala alpha neng. Ate butler at a folio combe sambala police le abe attack la world. And that is the reality. So let them stop. If what Bio is saying everywhere I come more nenje. Yemola alpha ne abe searing. Well abe attack la that is the problem. Who understand?
You see, Ajal for the contact
Janding Atena, Kufula Finditaje, I will just want to talk on that. Because in one way or the other, I aerial mallet that I have some specialities on the mental health component and the civil society space. Dinga kumase the civil society space la science thing faye bundal me along koy mantraman sakunda koto. Ngalong malong everything that is happening within our political landscape, it's giving us at least a tip of what is possible in the soonest possible time. We know it or not, these particular things that are happening are monitoring mechanisms that is preparing us for a peaceful transition or a peaceful election or a peaceful political period. Or otherwise. I will want to say this openly in an independent tone to all our political parties and affiliates. The country belongs to us. No mundi mel mun ngena politique, mun ngena def lu ngena def. Why let's take that particular leadership and get out of violence, because we don't want to do anything that will encourage violence. I know the civil society space. Some of our colleagues currently have started monitoring certain realities that are happening on the ground, and there will be things that will guide certain actions to completely avoid possible negative actions. Coming to the mental health bit, come kinum ko wahe. All the time, obsessive compulsive disorders, some of the times are possible things. Personality disorders are some things as well. But there could be an underlying psychological problems that maybe you're hamuloko. Dang de gis ni mun nga ma gis ni ma ñew tok fi def everything, but I have a particular mental health condition bu nga xamne amna lu ko de trigger. For example, man anytime suma ñew man dama de saga. Man suma gisé nen rek all of a sudden ma react ci another thing. Ma attack ma def li. Personality disorders dafa am at some point, emotional issues dafa am at some points, and we have behavioral problems at some point where other people will seek attention in different ways, but it can be judged by you as a form of violence. So all these things are there. Concurrently, somebody di ñëw si ndaje muy saaga muy def another thing. I think the best thing to do is counseling is one thing, but let them try to understand the underlying effects of her particular behavior. Maybe ñu ngi koy judge, ñu ngi koy pain, ñu ngi koy label. Why she needs help? She might actually need help. So nañ xam loolu. I'll just want to contribute on that in these two independent space.
Very valid.
So yeah, thank you so much. So we'll be sambalan next topic odo. Be kachala about of course sa phone ole ko 15 people ndole mil konte milia lonko ibota the National People's Party officials milia lonko ibota the National People's Party ka join the emerging keba madila National Development, of course, National Democratic Party, NDP, ngalonka be ngela resignation letter sol jele aliye jele moliye population care Fatou on Wednesday. Nene, it seems like MC Lumwahon Mungenyo Keba is taking from NPP, instead. He said that last week that Keba will take from NPP, and seems like that is happening.
Yes. But let me first ask, because I see media houses and even you're here, UK National Development Party.
Yeah.
Is it registered?
I said emerging National Development Party.
Well, National
Democratic
Party.
Emerging,
Has it been officially registered yet?
It's not.
Because people are, addressing them as a political party.
What I'm saying, I said emerging.
No,
Yeah, it's not yet registered.
But then when you go out there, everybody is telling them, describing them as a political party.
It's not yet.
And that is also giving them a weight that they've not earned yet. So that needs to be clear. They are possibly a potential party, or maybe in the offing trying to register a party. That's what they want, but it's not officially registered and cannot be regarded as a party, possibly a movement or a group, and possibly, like we say, other people, other even registered party, we call them attire groups. Then you register, so they can also be part of that group. But this is the thing. MC wax na ko fii nii dañoo jël si NPP and man dispute ma loolu because xam nga lan la foofu la gaay xam foofu la gaay jógee. They're very familiar with that particular group, that particular party. So ñooñu ñoo gën a closer ñoom te ñooñu la ñoo gën a mun a convince because xamante nañ, right? Yaagut ba fa gaay jógee. Waaye man li ma gis mu nekk di xew is for the optics. Again, let me be categorically clear. It's not like I really care about either of them. I must have interest, but I just speak as the facts are, right? How at the end of the day, how Malensa, this other NDP, I don't know them. I only see their pictures. I've never met either of them personally or interacted with them. But
I will introduce you to Keba Madi. You will NDP, inshallah.
Li xew la nekk di analyze. Li xew la nekk di analyze. But li ma wax man weddiwu ma woon MC ne ko duñ jël ci ñooñu. Waaye tamit li ma bëggoon mu understand ne suñ jëlee 10 si NPP dinañ jël 4 or 5 si any other political party. Lolu tam it's a fact boo xam ne la is established. But what I see happen also, which we all need to agree, and MC, you watching, I want you to also agree with me, because of the beef and the animosity that they have amongst each other, the NDP, the NPP, they're trying to publicize everything that has to do with NPP. Can they come and tell me right now, all the members that they have affiliated with the NDP are all 100% from the NPP and not from any other political party or even independents? Let them tell me that, then I can agree with MC's analysis or whatever. But my point also is that the NPP, yes, I agree. Why didn't jail Funeka? So this notion also, they feel, okay, NDP having a breakaway from NPP, Nico glorify. No, it does not solve the situation. The situation, my interest, me and so many other people who are like in opposition are saying, okay, we need to have a different government apart from the NPP. Not only the NPP, but Barra should not be the candidate for run a third term, right? That's my point. Because again, NPP is a registered party. They can put up a candidate any time and anyone they want. But my point is that third term. That's my issue here. So, if we want to have another candidate apart from Barrow, it's like to win the NPP. And if ne suñ fogee ne Keba Madi génna mooy tax ñu win NPP, I am saying ne categorically in no uncertain time ne du xew parce que opposition bi defanguñ loo xam ne dina génnee Barrow. 13 people moving, understand nga? You know what I mean? Okay, 13 people yooyu ku nekk am nga let's say 50 people behind you. Let's now look at the membership of the NPP. And you have the statistic with 13 people or 50 people, let's say even 100 people. How has that affected? And you know, the amazing thing is, if you make on any other political party, man ak yow duñ dégga waaye NPP ñu ngi ne tekkaaral jël kilo parti bi rek ak organisé waxuñ ci jooyuñ ci yuuxu wuñ ñun ñoo nekk di yuuxu bala. And the NPP have put up a Facebook page. Every single thing ñu put ko foofu noonu. And let's look at also this possible naka lañ ko waxatee game playing. Is it one person that is writing the resignation letter for everybody else supposedly resigning from the NPP going to the NDP? They're supposed to be independent people. If they make these choices on their own independent way from all the different corners, right, you will see a difference because their reason for leaving is the same. The letter is the same. The number of characters is the same. So no, dama bëgg nga understand some point bi fii.
So one person is writing it for them, or mun nañ ko send guy, you know, if they want to, you just
okay. So you can see now here the game that is being played here. Man, I am not falling for it. At the end of the day, let them take all they want.
The most
right?
important thing
let
for
them
them
not
is
take all they want. My problem is right. All the opposition that are celebrating Keba Madi Bojang, I got it right today. Yeah, Keba Madi Bojang is taken from the NPP, and it's in the social media. They're not telling us what Keba Madi Bojang is taken from their own party. They're not telling us
they are not publishing that on their Facebook.
Exactly. So why is that not happening?
Maybe it's not happening also.
No, Buba, you're a journalist. No, let's stop
maybe.
That. Especially this West Coast area. The people that claim to own the West Coast or whatever. Why is Keba Madi only showing the people that are allegedly coming from it? And the other thing I say, all these people, man,
who claim to own?
Yeah, they claim to own. Musunyo Binda, I am writing to formally join the NPP. But then when they're leaving to go to the NDP, they will write. And most of the time, I don't even see people writing to resign. They write and resign. Where they go, it's not on the resignation letter. On their resignation letter. They don't tell me, I'm resigning from Mr. Secretary General of Bakery. To go to Buba, journalist of Fatou. That doesn't happen. I mean, let's think outside the box. I see a trend here, and I see a choreographed scheme happening here. But I'm just saying, those that are celebrating this thing, just be careful because you're up for a big surprise in the making. Okay. Just be careful, right? Okay, I'm not buying into it. You know, like MC will say, I have an agenda. I have an agenda.
Agenda against these people.
maybe the money that Keba Madi Bojang has, Keba Madi Bojang should send me some money.
You should join NDP first.
No, I'm not joining. I'm not joining.
I will introduce you to Keba after this program.
Keba.
Nene kanale
Buba majanga halis ham halis liggéey ci bu ko déglu ma parce que man the justification Keba Madi dafa am halis that's what I hear.
No boy is playing.
Waxuñ ma lan la def waxuñ ma fu mu yëngal dafa am halis loolu laa déggal that's the justification. Keba Madi has money has been helping people man helpuma te xaw ma any individual come help. Okay, I want to justify this agenda thing that MC says. But I want to justify that.
Yengal na.
Why gisuma ko?
Okay, no problem.
Why man mun naa la wax fu Sidi Njaay yëngal.
Kanon.
Man mun naa la ko wax. Mun naa la wax fu Dusaano yëngal. Mun naa la wax fu Sabali yëngal. Why munuma la wax fu Keba Madi yëngal. And man tam am naa si right xaw ma ko.
NPP congratulations.
Xaw ma ko.
Ale ni na sura la barka. Thank you so much.
My Talibo is good. So yeah, Talibo
that Talibo you have succeeded.
You have
succeeded. By a reaction already. Keba Madi at least 15 people, 15 officials.
No, but nyam sent me 12 like
no, it's 12, but 3 resigned before then. They 12 resigned. So 3 then resigned before this 12.
Okay, so we're talking about total of 15.
Yes, total of 15.
Oh, like seriously?
Yeah.
What's the percentage? 0.000001.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Keba Madi nyulu la movement onye as of now.
Oh, I like that movement.
It be grow can and ila growing so far what we've seen mediamala wala along like one thing I always like in myself is buga fonye amako ko nkolo you understand it's like I always speak my mind not koloko at the end of it you will always be misled and koloko all the time imena sila jande e kumal fo mele alon ko man soto and
ite buka fo kare koten
ye kumal fo mele alon ko mul mele kala moy roke you know I mean what is important aje la moy lalu you know melkatra jibero ke kan ke la moy bakel anu momoranding e kam même fo at the end of it, it will make a okay, it will digest it. And I think that is something me alonko is very important whenever mediamula ngahakil to bakel. Because at the end of it, for sometimes maybe the real meaning of for not real mediam kanyame. I might not know it, but mental lamoy because wakal lamoy and attention. So he understands or she understands more than for. So keba madinyulu they are making, you know, it differences cake and ila kata ko ben long come back. In fact, last weekend there is a testimony they even shaken NPP. When I say there's a testimony on evidence ko NPP shaken because Nigeria NPP la minister NPP la Deputy National President the Masabali Anila political advisor Sekumbalo. I mean, I think I attack.
Sabali also wrote on Tuesday.
Sabali also, wrote about them. So basically, Ning Atara, Imantara NPP affect. I don't think NPP will actually talk about them. So what is clear, means Senator Molbim Olomyuko, Keva Madila, movement of Maya Lonko, they want to make it a party. Abe Selekan, Ibe number Sotokan and the number men Sotokan, that is a close to the opposition. And so far, Namelje, along Adamadu Diamu Fende Menje, Namenje, Olomyuko, all the resignation of Melalong Kake, Ikafolo, voter MPP. Itata NDP. That's and so by evidence. Yala umu evidence le abe scenario. So far mommoje me yalongo e bafalo ka bota other political party leto atata je. Ñun lelbe num parti killing. Jang. Et lebe num parti killing. O parti killing me yalon et lebe num NPP et NPP mol me yalon ko lote fay say mol me yalon ko ibo le sama kanang anun ko le resignation olje. Ñun mum mol le me yalon ko e ko e bota NPP. Ko itol meli parti o ñum form o movement o ñum form itol bota NPP ñame mbi yalon kabring UDP ning baro youth movement tamo mi yalon go splita yasan mol kabo UDP le every time mol kabo UDP le kata baro youth movement from the NPP. So basically, this is their democratic right. It's a right to belong to any political party they want to belong to. It's a right to join whoever they want to belong to. I been in opposition, and a member of United Democratic Party. Bibi Lala, Nina Keba Madinul Soto. Because advocacy all oppositions or all movements should come together and form a coalition. I think it is always important they really mean that word there should be a coalition, should always encourage people they are coming from NPP to join the opposition forces. Encourage the from the ruling party. Encourage, celebrate anytime we want to do an opposition, when you call them to come and join for a coalition, they can come and join the coalition. Because the moment when they were a movement on form at least for a movement form for a number soto. A number ning, mobe mina haraba wala noma. Kajiko alani number diuni, mofla lamba, mosaba lamba, alnale kafunkang. Ni atara lar democracy la. Because democracy, every numbers count. Every vote counts in democracy. Every vote counts in election. So Okamala, Keba Madinyo Linyu movement me ba kang, I really applaud them. And I can say one thing, Namenje, follow. Mol Melia Lonko will resign from Ila Patioto. They resign from NPP. Another NDP. Where is Senator Male and Lung Ime Mabo? Kafol Melia Lonko. Ibu Kafol Nulie NPP Alpha Lemuta Nunjang. File Tijang. Kafol resign the Jang, you Kafol Beto Samanani Fintindi. So far the main cake, all what they are doing is complete transparency. If anybody doubt that, you understand, other political party members, I believe if other political party members join them any day, they will also publish it. If they can publish a grassroots supporter, because there are other grassroots supporters, grassroots supporters, grassroots mobilizers, will resign, although oppositional form NPP, but Kabir resigned, why not? If a member or a prominent member from any other political party will resign that don't take on, why are they not going to write it? They will write it. But as of now, as of now, what we have seen, Keba Madi Nala Gurbo Molu, Kataku Bala Kekam, because member Keka opposition member Banko can be, genuine opposition will be. Beka Nila Dua, Kajiko, Momo be ruling party can Kabundi ruling party can, Kasaman opposition Yala. At the end of it, Nundua Jabita, no opposition will be the Kilinti. We can have a united opposition force or united coalition force to fight against or to vote against the ruling party.
Okay.
So I think all of us, if we have a genuine fight against the government member steering, we should all support every genuine group. They are ready for MPP government. That is my stand in this.
Thank you so much, Ablai.
Is Bai Sankara still with that group?
I wanted to ask that question. Muna Bai Bijane, for Amurra Spain.
Abidjan.
Is he still with the NDP?
No, he's still with the NDP.
Okay.
Taliban made false allegations here. very false.
Oh, he did. I don't know because the reason why I asked, I've been seeing him doing interviews, radio, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like consistently.
Yeah.
But for the longest, Deguma. And is there any reason Lutah Lolo?
Yeah, he's still with
the
He's still with
the that time the movement did not have a structural thing. As we are speaking, they have their PRO, they have their spokesperson, they have their admin secretary within them. So basically, has
that been published? Published?
Yeah, it's been published.
Okay.
Because already, in the media houses, you understand, Basankare for like an outspoken. I have an outspoken person, you understand? But Nibe Fenke, Seni Fenke, the one from Tanje. Seni, I don't know whether Seni something about the one from Tanje.
Is it Mane or
Seni Mane?
Yeah.
Seni Mane, which they use Seni Mane as their PRO.
Okay.
So
are you familiar with the current structure that they have?
No, I'm not familiar with all of them, but I know some.
No. But do you know that they have a structure right now in terms of hierarchy? Who's responsible for what? As a journalist. Have you been informed about that?
Keba is the leader. That's what I know.
No, from the inception, Keba is the leader.
Yeah.
But Bayo is saying they now have a structure.
Maybe.
Have that been shared with the media houses?
That evidence.
I don't have that.
If you go to standard, the publication of standard.
They spoke.
They
spoke there. I don't know where.
I will always speak about what is being written.
Okay.
You are trying to know. It's from Buba. So Buba evidence. Evidence that standard newspaper. You will see it there. Send money, the spokesperson for the new or the image. NDP party.
NDP, all right.
If you go to the standard newspaper,
imagine
okay,
NDP.
right? Whatever it might be. So come and go. Send money. I will mula spokesperson as we are speaking right now. So by Sankare, Abejele and is still supporting the movement. Sansa phone here la bureau. Sansa silabaka e bol te la flag of Santo. Bureau beje kila le bunyoto. 3 day beje dumaje.
So since they understand. Bayo, listen here. The reason why I'm asking that because I want to know that they have a designated person who can speak on behalf of them. I remember 2 weeks ago also trying pour amlen pour ñëw. But what did they say is doing wahagum because they are still in the organization or trying to structure. Exactly. So why now? Come I'm structure right now. I'm somebody who is designated to speak on behalf of the movement, the group, the entire group, whatever it is. You can get back to them and see whether that person is ready to come and talk on behalf of the party.
They will come.
That's the reason why I wanted to know whether Buba knows and we know who to contact.
Yeah.
Not to say Mangomumala or whatever. I just want to make sure that Buba gets it right, and then we do the right thing.
That's very clear.
That was the basic.
Using following Keba Madi la Fenko. Munemila reaction to what's it?
Yeah, to be frank with you, is welcome news for Gambia, for opposition. We only have to be cautious At the end of the day, it's NPP.
He was NPP, he was.
No, what I mean is as NPP, NPP is the one in government.
Yes.
We've seen people.
Okay, I thought you said Keba is NPP.
No.
Okay.
I mean NPP. You see,
Okay.
I have always said, Barrow, why he is best politician at the same time worst politician is he has no limits.
Okay.
You understand? What he wants, he can even put his head just to get it. You understand?
I understand.
So that's the point. But I 100% agree with Sifo's analysis that we should celebrate it. We should welcome them. We should encourage them. What we need is salvation. This country is at a serious crossroads, and Sunyu Ame, New Joge si ruling party, minors. Sune Benalasa, subtraction. So we welcome that. But that is not what is going to salvage this country. Pockets of resistance or pockets of political camps.
Bingo! I'm glad you're coming to that because I was like fidgeting on my seat like, why would you celebrate the skin again and and it's not adding value to you?
So we need to...
This worth celebrating. This worth celebrating.
Celebrate what?
For the opposition, I mean.
Go ahead.
It's worth celebrating.
Yes.
So, yeah, go
So
ahead.
I think the opposition should begin to put their house in order now. They should not wait.
Thank you.
Now, as we speak, there should be, something we see happening. Some political tremors here and there before the earthquake itself would come. We should not wait until the 11th hour. We are dealing with the most difficult political party.
Headed by a political animal.
Yes. We are dealing with the most difficult. The issue with President Barrow is, and his situation is, President Barrow is much more difficult to get out than President Jammeh. I tell people, and people should understand that.
How?
You see, Jammeh has, simply put...
Local language.
Okay, Jammeh, sorry, maybe the Mandinka may not be nice, but I jawl sort of Bantaba kele, I jawl for us to akono. Meaning he has external and internal. You can say haters if you want, if that language is nice. Oh, not haters, but people that are not aligned with what he wants. Or opposition. And this has international community support. You understand what I mean? Locally, the opposition also got united. And we could see that, like 6 months, you can have the sense that generally the feeling is people need to get Jammeh out. That's the feeling. With Barrow, the international community, I will tell you this, may seem to not like Barrow, but they have something at stake. Kulebe Africa, Tundo, especially West Africa, is people are moving away from the West, their hegemony. One of the soldiers standing on the West African continent is President Barrow. One of the hopes. Senegal is not a hope for them anymore. The Burkinas and so on. Now, they might be careful. Who should we have next? Are we going to have something like Ibrahim Traoré?
Or Jomai.
Or Jomai? Or Sonko? Are we going to? So that thinking could be there. You come internally. If we are bringing cars to this country, zero mileage car, who is going to buy? The government, we will say, because they have the ability. And maybe other corporations that are here that have money. Now, business people like convenience and stability. If Barrow is not after their money, it's not after their family, their safety, they can thrive in this business where government will buy many vehicles. And they don't know whether we're going to have another Jomai or Sonko in the Gambia. They would put everything that they have to make sure they know they have the enemy they know. Remain.
Can you pause there? Charles, is the volume very light, right?
Continue,
Right?
please continue.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes,
Thank you.
That's my thinking. And that means You have 10 people or less than 10 business tycoons in this country that virtually own everything. That is why the Gambia, I tell people, is not a democracy. It's an oligarchy. It's a kleptocracy. You have people with vested interests. You may not see them on Grand Bantaba, but they are more politicians than me, this guy and everyone.
That's true.
And they will pump whatever. You know, some of them can even pump the opposition and pump the ruling party.
That's what they do.
So that when they know things are difficult, anyone that comes is still going to be my boy. That's money in politics.
That's what they do, and that's what they're doing.
That is why
That's what is happening
ordinary
here.
Gambian like me should understand that the best way to save this country is us coming together, not pockets of camps of politics of this and that and that. And that. I would really very much like this. Ning Ayata Ko. From now on, Nana together. But if this is difficult, my advice is this. I am from a political party or whatever you want to call it. But I can tell this to Gambian youths funding kid. Ning na political party shol man la fi kay get ntolle siateti.
Of course.
18 to 30 or 35, we are more than any other grouping in this country. Let the youth come with their candidate and all the youths rally behind if our leaders don't want to take the necessary actions as we speak. If still for you are on the UDP, you are a youth. If our fathers don't want to come together to salvage this country, and they are salvaging this country for us, they are saving this for us, not for them. So if they don't want to save it because they don't care anymore, 60, 70, 50, alhamdulillah, we are just 20, 30, we should come together and forget about our cause.
Who will be your leader?
This is it. And I think I like that question. I want Gambians also to know this. I cannot select a leader for you. But I can tell you, Buba, you can be a leader, Sivo can be a leader, my sister can be a leader, you can be a leader. You are Gambian and you have Gambian at heart. The problem with us Gambians, well, I mean, after Malay Kolela, we need an angel in the Gambia.
No, we ain't gonna have it.
No, we cannot have it because we are not angels. We are not a nation of angels.
It doesn't exist.
If you want to vote for Esaval, why mom dafa tawal Charles Taylor, mota mam bugumako. Tiara seeds dafa has my dad fofu nonu, bugumako. Kale kenen non la Amadou Tabawe, Amadou wa jangut. Ki niran, hey, we all have problems. Nobody has 100% health. But we are living. Let us focus and stop this issue of petty politics. We cannot have an angel. We cannot have Isa come back or Muhammad come to be Gambian president. No, alayhi salam. Or salatu wasalam, whatever you want to call it. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Now, let us forget about the small issues with Buba. Let's focus and get Buba, who actually got 60-70% pass rate. But 100 over 100, you cannot get it from my party. You cannot get it from anyone. That is the issue. The people say, Santoro Jumara Fenkala, honey, it is for us a
That's true.
Ning ipareta yeke. Ika mengini doto. Ake fanto ya gibe. For molte itenginila. That is it. If we want perfection, Babo is going to win. That is the truth, and that's what we need to understand. Nimko lafta sano laola malaiko membina at a false sotola. Babo be winalde.
Okay, thank you.
So everybody can, including you, Buba.
No, I don't want to be president.
Yeah, you may not want, but I'm telling you, you can be. You can be. But if we are also looking for the perfect guy, forget it. It's divinity. We cannot have it. This is no joke. That is why let's forget about these small issues and concentrate on the bigger thing.
Okay.
If you look at it critically, Sonko, one thing I love about what I have seen so far about him is he has the country at heart, not the seat of the presidency at heart. So you being UDP, GDC or so, what you should have as focus is Gambia and how do we save it. Whether I'm the one who is going to be there or not is not important and should not be important. How we save this country is what is important.
Okay.
But I could have joined many people who are after Nene, after Sifo, after everybody.
I know that. Yeah.
But I did not because I want to join Gambia.
Like I said, my party is Gambia.
I want to join Gambia and I want to save
blue,
Gambia.
white, green.
I don't want to save yellow, green or any other thing. I want to save Gambia. And every Gambian should think like that because it is not time for political parties. It is time for Gambia.
I can tell you the election is between NPP and UDP.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So whether there is another group or not, the election will be between NPP and UDP. That's how Gambia designed it. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is.
I have said in the previous when Bob from Finland was here that you see God created us, but He does not leave us. He is bigger, isn't it? But He has created avenues. Fasting. Christians, they have their own. Other people. A time, windows of opportunity, where God announces that, you know, those sinners, come, it's time. I can accept all of you. And He comes down. He lowers His bars. His standard. He lowers it so that you can just get in. He wants you in the fold. If UDP really, as the situation is, they should begin to lead. As in, go after people. Try to compromise. I'm not saying they are not compromising. I'm just giving my opinion. But if you said, we are the ones that are big, we should, you know, we should have people coming to us.
Yeah.
Then it means, yes, you are big, but Gambia is bigger than you, and Gambia will not come to you, UDP.
Of course.
And if Gambia does not come to you, UDP, it means you cannot be big. So begin to go to the small, and the bigger Gambia will come to you. That is my little understanding. It doesn't matter whether I fought with C4 or not. Let's go and then talk to C4, because what matters now is not the party, it's the Gambia.
I fully agree. I fully agree.
And I agree too.
Yes.
See, one thing I wanted to say about what you said, honestly, if nobody wants to do it, you know, the youths can mobilize. But do you have that caliber of youths? Because what I see is youths that are so emotionally attached to parties and individuals, you understand, forgetting that the bigger thing here is the country, is Gambia. So when you have such caliber of youths, an example here, how are we going to have people forget about all those things and come together and say, we believe that you are not looking at us and the future or the Gambia, you're looking at individuals and parties or whatever. We will leave you guys and come and do it. That is the problem. That could have even happened since time Yaya Jammeh. But happened not. ñun ñep xam nañ naka lañ fi génné Yaya Jammeh and loolu moo fi xewut and loolu mooy the honest truth. Everybody looks at suma nit kuma gom. How can you gom an individual and not gom the country? If you gom the country, you will fight, and everybody should see that it's about the country. Hey, gi nga Gambia bi so correctly. ñun ñep dañoo réglé. ñun ñep dañoo tëdd à l'aise. Everything is going to work for us. But if the person, if I believe in Buba, ma fight for Buba, everybody else suffers. When everybody else suffers, yo, mënuloo enjoy. Parce que benn nit mënut a tekki ñëpp di tumaranke nga enjoy sa tekki boobu mënut a nekka and loolu mooy de réalité and loolu mooy suñ prédicament.
All right.
But I want to clear this.
One thing I like in some of the youths in this country, they are bold enough to make their mind. They are not dilly-dallying for a lot of years saying I'm independent. They make their mind straight. They speak their mind. That is one thing I like in so many patriotic youths in this country. Because the thing is, I mean, at the end of it, you know who you like. And they don't sit in media, blah, 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 when already, people know what they are for, and at the end of it, they're trying to, kamul nyaku. Well, one thing I know, there are youths in this country, they are bold enough to stand by party or to stand by individual directly, clearly. I know about this country also. And what you are saying also, I know when the time comes, the youths will come together. Believe in me, when the time, it's all about the time. It's all about sensitizing people. It's all about telling people what is their interest. And one thing you said is very important, as another bag. Yeme follow you to go, baro na fulo, baro blue. And then the international community also, based on Bibe, West Africa, Jeka, Nyame. You understand? Because I know that sample is so phone. How many loans Barrow is receiving? How many grants are coming to Barrow initially? So all that is telling us something that is fully be kuko majam. And nimfo ninko tata to a level ye bankoje. They can make up their mind again. They can make up their mind and select someone. They feel like if the opposition doesn't want to be together. But one thing I can tell you, the party I am, United Democratic Party, the party I am, we are talking to opposition, other political parties.
Okay.
We are engaging them, and we will keep engaging them. They join us so that we can have a solid coalition for us to operate.
But I think we have to move because of time. Of course, I'm Mr. Dibba Street, Lamin Dibba Fonga Fonyamen, Abidjan for the National Bakers Union, right? National Bakers
Very
Union.
correct.
You got that right.
Very correct.
Very correct.
So, Mr. Dibba,
Should you use blade bakers or what?
No, this is National Bakers.
Bakers, okay.
Yes.
Munatina Muro Lafata, Molba Sankan, Dallas standing for a side.
Me ye mburo lafa me ya ken mburo lafa ta dalasi tanim fulala membe mburu do ko kono molka ku klineji fari wa me ye mburo do ko banko kan sa pour mburo ye finti asiyata amanke fari nyo damati fari nyo is ku klin nga fanna fulale soto melka mburo dada ning na local wele ka fami tapa lafa ani melka dada ni masimola wolong senfu niya jibe Gambia kono jang bering yirikalo keta follow mburo la karola fo mburo boda dalsi woro wala kata dalsi tang it was 2019 me yo ke ane aketa nyamen si dolde bije me alon ko tata bring depansironi ko dul falinta bon tel nata bring a 2019 reflect nata 2023 data as a benchmark nin ko benchmark nga 2023 data pour ka yiri karo ke ka jibe bring 2019 to 23 kata 25 mune be mbur do ko kono me alon ko afalinta fali nyame yalon ko mo mu me yajel. For example, niko bi nawek tariffs. Ni tata to senfu nka masimul la use. Nawek la tariff ni yajibe 2019 going to 2023 up to 2025. Percentage increment men ketaje is substantial. Ni nata fuel near 2017 ta 2019 sorry 2023 fuel la little moment up to as of yesterday when again addition ketaje.
Burjano ka fuel tale.
Yeah, because ni nata senfu la karola.
How do you use fuel?
We use fuel in Senfu in two ways. The ovens we use, aka gasoline leta pour ka heat generate through the burners. Pour muro ovuno nyinkom muro ka jani damen ay kandino muro e jani. Be pare wo fur le kawta a Senfu. Santo fana fo ese la standby generator soto. Ni be doku wala doku me ya lonko kurango manke something te siri no men kan 100%. Ni Senfu mburo mix already yadu ni masingo kono. Ni kurango tata within 2 minutes. You risk losing all that salary.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Even 2 minutes lang, it will be useless. So automatically it's a requirement as an investment ni be depansiro ke ka kono. For ese generator sang, generator membe tarlaje in case of some of those things.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. Ni nata to the other component, ni ko yeast aning improver. Ni ko yeast wolong fenti me along ko coming use ni farinyo mix foka pare e kaka kono pour mburo se wulino wulinya me along ko. Lewenyo ha. Okay. Ye improver fana soto e kam burol je ni aduku sometimes kaje le ka crunchy nyoti nyamen kaje ka sani nyoti nyamen pour ay mburu la couleur aning quality nyin dial o fana mu fenati min ka depansa kono nenyil be jibe 2017 1923 up to 25 all of them increased substantially. So realitism ba ko ni nata ko dul fana for example luwaso la karola particularly for the conventional bakeries. Let's say 2017 or 2019 2023 ni ka plaso jonum 150,000. Today, the last one that we followed up, which is just less than a week, he paid 300,000 per annum. Different from ELAB machines when it comes to Senfu. Minimum, for you to operate a Senfu machine or a Senfu bakery, we're talking about a minimum of 3 million to 5 million. If you are investing something like that, in that category, kuodol fana bije maofo hani kabi, taxes and other obligations by force. Bring
tax
full be send food kajole tapala pa kajole. Yeah. Food safety.
What is do you know the
of course, food safety. Every conventional bakery that is send food, they are paying $10,000. Send tapala they are paying $2,000. The conventional bakeries that is send food, Nitata councils, they are paying $7,500. Tapalapa is paying $2,500. GRA, before the advent of the National Bakers Union, purka structure in a way me alonko. Ite as a baker, ibalu na ko nyino tela obligation ti bi buba tinala no reka ko ibe 30,000 de jola sama indo na ko ibe 20,000 de jola. It was happening like that. So nata organized in a way that ni tata in any of our bakeries ni FM for molom because authorities will be engaged to a way that na tariffs all and certain obligations lon. Today all our bakeries have been paying to all these councils, including all the factories membe ke kanji. Within that, the first analysis, particularly our crucial partners. I tell you, have been in this country, starting from the flour factories, for 14 years, 15 years. Government have given you certain protection at some point, and even tax levies or tax waivers, put to be within the country. Can two of you, the two factories we have, like I said, verbatim to them, that's what I'm saying, ala itanin na bam bring atel nata nyim banko kan with all the protection in Mendiala for all this while ala itanin na alle muneke in the bakery sector in this country me yalonko you can reference ko alia bondile from this level to that level.
So you mean flour factory?
I'm coming.
Ye demal, mansakunda ye demal.
Of course.
Tax lafa. But I'm reflect at all.
Yeah. No ininka wala. Historically, none of the factories can reference a document to me ka for until nga nyinne ke nyin sector to te nga nyimbulanse ni nyimbulanse le makoy. I went to councils when certain enforcements are happening. I said, you know, Albe Batulal, we are under negotiations. We are all living within the same country. Economically, ko dolbe kikang mumel betaka kono. But whilst we are going through certain challenges, Alibatu, Minale with a system, our people will fulfill their obligation. But now I have a question for you two tax managers, for example. I said it to GRA, I said it to the councils. Tell me, our people, if a taxes men jokang, both Senfur and Intapalap, tell me what percentage of those tax Atele men reflect while you plow back to this industry, and you can refer me to that as your quota to this sector. Shockingly enough, none of them were able to tell me that. To a point, they have to refer me, no, go to the CEO, or you have to go to the mayor and ask. But these are things, Melalonko, sector tebula nola just like that, mba jubekang, and advantage ni loops holes melbiji that other people are taking on us. It cannot continue. The narratives will change. It has to change, and it starts now.
So, factory Jumal, flour factory.
We have two flour factories, that is GMC and Nasim in this country. And I am all promptly found in a way to go on our own expenses to pilot a study and see certain realities that are happening in just our neighbors. We will be going to other countries. But going to Senegal, currently we have some of their people within here. They have 7 factories in the country.
In Senegal?
In Senegal, 7 flour milling factories. All these factories have a direct relation and collaboration with the bakery union, where they do training, where they do technical support, where they even have facilities directly for bakers. And within the National Bakers Union and the factories, there is a development program where capacities of their young people are built to a level. This last invitation we had, the nation, Senegal, they have signed a particular MOU inviting other countries, for example, Morocco, because of their expertise in bread. They have a collaboration, and the factories and even the government have collaborated in programs to completely train young people within that particular country to be trained professionally as a baker. Not just the man on the apprenticeship, man hamna, jangana parena, 1 month, 2 months, ngadem di tahale did it. Then lai jangal completely, bulanzeri, Venuaser, all the other things, complete, certified New Jola. So if those people are doing that, so the Senegal take, you are having bread of certain calibers. Happen not just overnight. Am na ñu xar seen tanki tubé taxaw ci luy dégga luy yóbbu réew mi. You inject those things into the country and people move. Okay. So Gambia is not an island. So we can.
Ñu bari luñ nekk di wax mo nekk because of these people ñu ngi doon okay ibe tax be lafa kan nenu bare adol fana na union be deri nenu almantra fem fakang where you people engaging the government kabrin ñu kol be lafa kan and ñu kabrin ñu flour factory ye duty waiver dealer e mantra mantra reflect kan atol kan fale mansakunda engage leke diamonde and what were they saying naturally engage them.
Yeah, always I nintebe nya jabiro kala nyinto nka reflect nole with realities benketa and nka evidence nole up to tomorrow. Bring the National Bakers Union nata for the first time in the history of this country. Different associations le sorota. Tapalapa this way, Senfur this way. Most of the time what brings them together ni nata ka kukili nekacha wolum price at a particular level param a price dealer without securities varam they are gone interested in one component. When we came we observed at 2 different levels ko nyil kan anyu kan nyamen. Gambia te continue like that. Nanata murola karola. You cannot coordinate 2 separate entities with one objective, which is synchronized no, with more visible activities, type programs. Now, followed by association, not together. But since we came together, starting from the office of the president to the last person, our line ministry, food safety, weights and measures, competition commission, every office that has a stake in bread in this country. We either stood with them, discussed, or engage along some of these realities. Like
Let's start with State House. What was your engagement with State House?
With the State House, our first engagement was to put to the attention of the head of state that the National Bakers Union is an entity that has formally come together, organized, to make sure the narratives when it comes to bread in this country has changed. Put in certain programs very visible to him. I am opportune at a point to know the skills gap.
What did you tell them that you want to change?
We want to change, when we were there was 3 thematic things. 2 I will specifically say. The third one is the youth empowerment thing. First is to change the way bread is made and served in this country. That is talking about the quality and the standards. That is in relation to the health and well-being of the citizens of this country. Because we've seen, there are evidence, Melalonko, if we say to people, it is shocking.
Yeah, especially the Tapalapa bakers.
In everywhere.
Yeah.
I was shocked even recently when this particular announcement was made. The night we moved out for surveillance to go to other bakeries. Like I said to my team, until Katara Sirin to the office, Buba or anybody will come and say everything. But when I drove unannounced, unexpected to Buba's bakery, and anytime when we sit at the desk, what Buba is saying and what is in Buba's bakery, it was shocking to me.
And that is food safety's fault.
It's really shocking to me.
Can you just tell us, because we still need to eat bread, please?
Yeah, if I say shocking,
we still need to eat the tapalapa.
No, not tapalapa pasi. Tapalapa since we came, ngamenke, ngaitan di tapalapa ko, tapalapa doku bijel me along ko mol lafta tapalapa la. But isa ke no nyamin me along ko mol bela filala. If you go to certain tapalapa things that we did right now is, we've baseline a bakery in Lamin Kerewan, a 3-in-1. The reason why I always quote that particular place and Mandinaring, I've seen somebody took innovation on himself, innovated certain things. Num defare furambi, we took that as a benchmark. I love furu dadala innovate. Now you'll be surprised that you will go to some areas. Tapalapa yada da nyamin. Ni tate ko ko tapalapa da jang. You will say no, because we have sensitized some of them to put certain things in place. Where you put the bread, tile. But we are saying that Bladol Bijele, their standard is bad. Very bad. Okay, so and this is one of the things Lamin Safi Kabri Alkara State House. Very well. Okay, and what is the second? The second one is the capacity gap. Nanata Bulansela Karola, for example, Molmele Alanko, they are qualified. Put in do bring that around. Funding Kelmen Bejim Bankuka, Monkey Bang do. If they are given certain opportunities, they can. But they are given in Gambia. Nita sulata a qualified baker. Me alon kabe tarlela do la ruete sino no kudo leke. You have to go out for it. In other countries, randomly in Tata certain 5-star hotels, even 7-star in the country, maybe no 7-star or 8-star. But all the chief chefs that are within the bakery or the pastries are people that are imported, expatriates, from other countries. The Gambia here, I remember when Mr. Drame was with Gaipa, we had certain engagements when we were focusing on 2 areas, the fisheries sector and the bakery, and the gaps when it comes to qualification. So that one we have highlighted that clearly as a program area, and we will go with that. So you want them to employ Gambians? Before you employ, you capacitize them. Yeah. That is another component. For them to have the capacity exactly, the capacity first, then be employed. Yeah. The third one is revolutionizing Tapalapa to a standard. Technology has proven that, and it is applicable in other countries. If you go to the German bakery that they call here, just after Brusubi Police, there is a type of bread that you are seeing, tapalapala.
Blue kitchen. Yeah.
Blue kitchen, yeah? The technology behind it is the technology within tapalapa, the way it is generated locally. If you go to, what is the name, Jabang turntable, when you go in a bit, the first junction you have on your right, going in, there is a bakery that make a dancer. The technology that is used there is the solfish machine. Solfish could be used. We can capacitize our traditional bakeries, empower them through a scheme and a program where solfish will be in practice, and people will still have seen tapalapa. The time will come. So these were the 3 things. Yes. So what State House is money for? The leadership is open to programs that are in line with the national development plans, particularly when it comes to food security. They always say that. For us at the National Bakers Union, this is one thing that I can also say everywhere. Wheresoever we go, people will always ask us. Who said that, the president or State House? This particular statement and meeting we had was directly with the president. After the president, we had several engagements with the chief of staff and also the line minister. When was this meeting? The first meeting was early September last year. The second meeting was of recent when we were going back and forth with the price issues. We were discussing that at the Ministry of Trade. But as the process goes, we know what actually we have.
Continue with what the president said during the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that clearly. What the president said is whatsoever it is in the interest of the country and the people, he is always with that. That he said very, very clearly. Second, when it comes to capacity and whatsoever it is, as long as it is in line with the interest of the country, and bread being an essential commodity, let's have a clear roadmap and a picture. He referred us back to our line ministry, that is the Ministry of Trade, where he turned to the Minister of Trade when everybody was sitting. Have these people, talk to them, they have a program, let me know how the state can support in that drive. This was very clear.
Okay.
And we followed our programs independently with the influence of nobody. To make that very, very clear. The Ministry of Trade is our line ministry. It's an industry, it's the bakeries. So automatically, by virtue of our status, we are under the Ministry of Trade.
Yes.
Our affairs and things are under the Ministry of Trade. Lolu mo ñu yóbbu Ministry of Trade. They are the coordinating body, the policy arm for the government that has a lot of things in our sector. Lolu mo ñu de yóbbu ministry. Why our programs and activities, all that you are seeing everywhere, since we started to date, these are independent programs that we have initiated ourselves, not influenced by anybody or anywhere.
What did the ministry say?
The ministry, at the Ministry of Trade, we put certain thematic things, including what I have just mentioned. After our movement and bringing certain data out, we itemize those ones first to the Minister of Trade as gaps. Like one, the way the flour quality is in this country. Two, the way the service gap is. Three, the duty waiver to bring special quality flours. Four, the training gap. Then five, how to completely synchronize certain activities nationally where we will be able to monitor and also have surveillance under the current realities when it comes to bread.
So are you having any improvement in any of these sectors you are saying? Do you have any improvement?
We'll get to that. Let's just finish with the meetings first.
Yes.
So, okay, you had that meeting with the minister.
Several
the minister
times.
was there at the time.
Minister was there. We had...
What did he say?
What minister said was very clear. As long as you are as organized as this is, which we had not, we don't have that opportunity before, which the chief of staff said in his last meeting when he was addressing the PS, where we were not happy with certain resolutions or how they were dragging with immediate things that were of our interest. When we stood with the chief of staff,
which resolutions were you not happy with?
We made an announcement when it comes to bread at that time, because as I said in that particular announcement, when we said $13 is, openly we took that decision. They came back.
The union took that decision?
Yes. They came back to say there is a process. They will love to engage us for us to go through a process and we prove some of the realities, then we will all take responsibilities. When they did that, we respected, but we wrote back to them when they were dragging. That's what took us back to the office of the chief of staff. What he said to the PS when we were in that meeting, he said, you have one opportunity.
The PS of Trade?
There. He said that to the PS of Trade. That is the chief of staff told that more cases to PS.
Yes.
You have one opportunity. This sector has not been organized in any way like it is today and coordinated, so diplomatic in this way. That is the opportunity you have. I, as a person, has gone through certain ministerial DPs, but the opportunity you have, embrace it, make sure you follow procedures and coordinate with this unit, because this sector cannot be left like that. So all of these realities happen. To tell you, the National Bakers Union, when we came, all the authorities, that is the 6 identified regulatory bodies.
So at this, the meeting at the Ministry of Trade, was this also in 2024? After the meeting with the president? After
2024, for us, from 2024 up to yesterday as we speak, we constantly have engagement.
Several meetings with the...
Several meetings
with the ministry.
Several, with all the regulatory bodies and the ministry.
So, okay. Kabring ale ñi meeting also in 2024 for changes bi jele ko baya ñi ale changes jele like in what you were complaining
significantly.
Your demands.
Yeah, like a lot demands all from
the demands. What we have said, most of them have started. For example, when it comes to flour quality, the bakers should have been given the opportunity to say something direct. You'll hear from them, not from me. When we came, there was nobody directly going to some of those sources to tell them what needs to be done. The flour quality, no matter how bad it is, but they've made efforts to make sure it is at least at a level.
The standard is raised.
It's raised. That testimony, we have it everywhere. We have evidence how it was when we came that is still in our archives compared to what it is today. Our the duty waiver that we've requested a quota of special flour to come in that is of a particular standard so that the population can also have a particular quality bread has also been granted. Flour is in the country. We've had that. And everyone taking bread. Even if you don't know, had I came here with some examples telling you this is flour that we have here, this is this flour, and this is the import, it speaks for itself.
So there was embargo on those special flowers before?
There was an embargo to completely protect the factories in the objective of industrialization, where we need to support our local factories we have, because they also embrace certain components in the country where employment and others. But comparing the bakery sector when it comes to employment, what we employ, one minimum sin food, what it employs is around 10 to 15. If you come to Tapalapa, minimum it's employing 8. So all those 8 every day, they are going with at least something. Forget the other thing that we've left out, that is specifically the supply chain. You know how many people are directly or indirectly employed through this sector. And the amount of funds that we contribute to the national development, by quantity, we know what it is. So it is not a sector that can just be watched.
Okay.
And
So
not
I
given
remember
what it
there was a
deserves.
time Ale coming back to this Mburo la Lafa. There was a time Alia announced like Mburo be Lafa.
Yes,
Then
yes.
the ministry statement of Bondi Mburo man Lafa Abedula Kilne. What happened at that time? Fal ni man yomoyle.
Menketa, I will still quote verbatim from the statement I made when we were going through a particular process. We had technical advice at the point they said, you cannot independently make decisions when it comes to bread. It's a controlled commodity. You go through a process. I said it's right. But before we came to that particular level, I said all these regulatory bodies here knew the realities happening within this. What have they done? As leaders at some point, we must take drastic decisions. Then that will bring us
You
all
took
to
that
the table.
decision for them to react.
Not to react, but to tell them that in this particular sector, if you know what is there and you know it has to change, if you don't take that decision, we as leaders will take that decision. If you want us to talk about it realistically with reasons, come to the table, we talk about it.
And at the time, what they said stood at the time.
No,
Because
it doesn't just, maybe what you saw was on air, but certain
it
things
stood
happen
actually.
off.
Bread price remained.
It remains, but
$10.
you have to understand what makes it.
Until last Tuesday.
You have to understand what makes it stay. It was not influenced by any force. When we announced before the daybreak, we've gone through a diplomatic engagement where it was initiated by the Deputy Permanent Secretary. By that time, they were all out of the country. Because before we even announced that price, we wrote a letter to them that we have asked of you of all these things, and we have given you this period. What we have given you, if you don't respond and we don't sit on the table to discuss that, by Friday we will take our decision. And this is what we did. I have that letter with me. We wrote to them. They said they have not received that letter. They were all out of the country. And nobody responded to acknowledge receiving it, to tell me we are out of the country. But with urgency.
Both the PS and the minister?
The PS was out, the minister was out. So nobody responded to us.
But the office was there.
The office was there, of course.
Yeah.
We were not responding. And what DPS was there.
DPS was
And
there.
what we do for some of these sensitive things, if we write, we CC it to the office of the president, and we have our copies. We were not responded to. We said, okay, we gave you from Wednesday, for example, Thursday, Friday. You don't react. Obviously, we'll take a decision.
And when you took a decision,
Yep.
everybody was available
Exactly.
to react to that.
Of course.
I love that.
That was a leadership.
I love that.
That's what actually happened.
Okay. So saying another remain $10 for this time. But saying another stakeholder meeting, so according to it really mean for a statement of Bondi.
That's very
There
correct.
was a stakeholder meeting.
That was very correct.
Another agree. So tell us what happened in meeting or file agreed on.
A stakeholder meeting means sort of a meeting to happened all of a sudden, and a decision was taken there. We have a consortium of players within the sector where the National Bakers Union was, Competition Commission was, Consumer Protection was, Weights and Measures was, headed by the Permanent Secretary through the Ministry of Trade. This committee stood and came up with ideas and programs. Headed by Competition Commission, the input cost for bread, categorizing the two, will be put together. Then randomly we all agreed we want to base this on scientific models that will guide the percentage movement that we will do when it comes to price. Nata Menke, until as a team, we agreed. Bakers Union give 3 from us, the Ministry of Trade 3. Then we make a particular questionnaire that will give us certain information with regards to what we need to take to guide our decisions. 50 bakeries, then we send these people to the field, which was funded by the Ministry of Trade. When they went to the field, they collected those data. They came back with the data. The data was run through a system headed by the Competition Commission data unit. Then that was put to the table, validated through a process. Then it dictates what has just been said. Before the analysis, after the analysis, certain things came out clearly. The percentage increment and putting the population into context. We have 3, 20% increment, 33% increment, and 77% increment. The 77% increment was where the bread was going to go to 15. Currently, people are selling bread for 15 in some areas, and it's not a problem because it commensurate with the weight.
And 20.
And 20. You can even have bread for 30, 40, 35. Yeah. But the consumer protection pleaded. They put certain realities on the table. Economically, the $12 was contextualized, putting the average Gambian earning capacity into consideration. We debated over that. We agreed on a particular amount, which is 12. That is the 20% increment.
So, but you people wanted 15?
We wanted 15.
Okay.
Certain realities came into play. We discussed it, took responsibilities as leaders, and we make decisions based on the interest of the population. It was a bit chaotic when it comes to our members' reaction, but we have to also stand as leaders at that point to make them understand why that particular thing was accepted. But there are clauses that we have embedded in that agreement to say, economically, ñun yeb gis nañ ni bagage nuñ demel, waaye su fekkee $12 bii nii buñ accept within this particular period, su fekkee am na yeneen situation yu happen within, and war naay force yeneen ni, like I will also quote from DG Nakala Tuda. I forgot the name, but what he said is, Mr. Dibba, this thing that we have modeled right now, so fair con structure mung for one before, the far neka is smooth transition because reality is change. We don't need a big alarm. Team bobu moy talk analyze lulu, we go through a system. So this is what happened. But pour leral fi wax nañ ne su fekkee am na num demee ba yeneen percentage increment am na beyond the acceptable one, we will sit on the table, we will discuss and make decisions.
One important point is that you people agreed there is the weight of the bread should be increased.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
But what we are saying is not, what we are seeing for now is not yet increased. What is happening?
How do you know that it's not increased? So
right now on the same bread line,
the reality, the lufa
and I'm 100% so all these people is the same thing.
Lufa neka, buñ price increment. Before we happen with the weight, our people have problems. Technically, most of them have naka lañ doon liggéey. See experience. So they may see food, most of the food, ñu fa am pese, buñ commencé di wax li, si lañ put a condition, providing them with skills. As I'm speaking, kum numa toge fi, ñu doon call yeb loolu la leen doon refer since 1 week before. For them to at least take that responsibility. Lu nekk di happen is when it comes to skill, not all of them understand. Dañ dee liggéey ak seen loxo. Yow sooy liggéey 10 bags, for example, nga commencé benn ak sa loxo. For example, da nga jël skill rek, jël 160 grams def ko. Nga def ko ni sa loxo to comme ko wéko. So nga xam ne this size la. So nga def loolu benn yoon with the scale, ñaari yoon with the scale, nga feel like you have mastered that. So léegi instead of the scale, yow da nga nekk di dog di def nii di teg dog di teg. Sometimes di nga gis yu nga xam ne ëpp na, sometimes di nga gis ne tuuti na. But si seen four, te du ñëpp a am that doole pour am a divider. A divider is a machine that is calibrated. Yow da nga ñëw su fekkee grams boo soxla si bag bi 150 grams nga soxla or 200 nga soxla, you just punch that in. Machine bi daf la ko isil accurate. In that system, ken duma muna wax ne dama mistake. But until we transform from that level,
yeah, right, you need that capacity.
Yes,
yeah,
there is.
And on Tuesday, after Sibum Hewe, Muro Amuton in so many areas.
Yes.
What was the problem?
Yeah. Up to yesterday,
yeah.
Mangdon wa media houses and other partners around that. Suñ bekasi buñ len waxe pour ñu bek. When we went out for surveillance, xam nañ at some areas ñeneen ñu nga xam ne ñu ngi bëgg a still tie with the old thing. the regulations that are around it.
What
today,
old thing?
Comme ñoom dañ bëgg a continuer ñu ñuy liggéey. The weight.
Yeah, I said,
and we have not agreed with that. And already as we speak, maybe letter B is already on my table. Suñ demee dañ koy dispatch to all of our members. That is the permit from the police to enforce whosoever has gone against that. Because man duma mun a nekk at everywhere at the same time, but we have representatives. We will give authority to all the regional police officers through their Inspector General of Police, and they will be assigned with our people to police that, and we will take drastic measures.
So police
the enforcement bit, when we were doing it, we did that. We don't enforce.
So enforcement money dañoo set because ku nekk da nga war a use skill.
Of course.
So ñëpp a war a am skill bi.
That is in progress.
ñëpp ñoo ko war a ut. So léegi let's say suñ demee in a bakery, the first thing luñ war a gis mooy ne skill bank fa. Because su fa skill nekkute, which means ne yow wéyuloo sa bread bi.
Exactly.
Te soo wéyulee sa bread bi, which means ne amuloo the required weight te yang ko jaayee price boobu buñ nekk noonu.
Exactly. But another important thing, bala ma fay jógee loolu laa ci comme bakers yi liggéey nañ. Most of them have complied with the $12 with the weight. You know what happened? Si sector bi dañ am a supply line. And I also quote from engagements we have, ne bread is the only commodity bu nga xam ne ñetti particular group are looking for profit from that. Your missing investor, léegi ku koy supply sax, he want more from that, more than you. So certain problems we am tete with the weight, so the messy food you will have it the same price. Waaye man su ma la koy jox yow pour nga yóbbu ko si bitig bi, yow mi koy jël si man bugg nga si am $2. Yow mi koy teg si bitigi kii tam bugg na si am $2. So léegi because ñun am nañ a standard price bu nga xam ne loolu lañ agree, loolu la mooy demee. Yow feel nga ne soo jëlee loolu, the little profit you are having now ñu ngi koy jël si yow, kii bëggut koo jël, so yow nga feel like doo ko jël. So they make a movement in a way ne ñu ngi toog di wax ne gars luñ ko joxee nii ñun duñ ko mun a yóbbu. But ñu ngi wax askan mi ne anybody ku bëgg a mburu sa tànka mun laa yóbbu si fuur bi di nga fa am mburu. The other thing that I will say in that, which is also very important, ñu ngi ñëw to a point where mburu nuñ koy jaayee du nekk like any commodity. Da ngay dem fu nekk ngay jaay saabu, ngay jaay lii, ngay jaay lii, nga ñëw 1 minute yaa ngi si lii, nga dugal sa loxo bi yàlla loxo like this, nga xëccal ma mburu jël paaka bu nga xam ne yaa ngi ko bàyyi xaral ma ko def. It's not going to be now what is going to come, where we will create chaos. Where so demee di nga fa mun a jënd mburu. Bakeries yi tamit dinañ leen empower with a point through collaboration and partnership that gars yi dinañ mun a am seen own outlets where they will. The supply line, like I said when I was in the office of the president meeting with the chief of staff, I said xam nañ ne the supply line seen source of living moo nekk si lii ñun nag duñ ko dog all of a sudden. Openly jox nañ leen an opportunity pour ñu ñëw ñu regularize leen pour ñu mun leen a identify if we are going through a program ñu empower leen ñoom tamit ñu jógee from the level they are to another whilst your source of living is secured. But playing that kind of a politic where da ngaa daw si kii Musa jox ma Lamin nokk ma jox demal si kii mu la jox nii loolu moo fiy jege. That is the politics they play. That is why in some areas nekkuñ di am mburu soo dawee nga dem si kii mu ne la man de luñ agri loolu laa jox nga ne déedéet nga dem si kii mu ne déedéet man luñ agri laay jox. Maybe nga ñëw si nee ne mu ne bul wax this is an opportunity for me.
déedéet man damaa bokk si ñu.
Example. Man luñ agri loolu laay exactly.
Protocol.
Exactly. These are the kind of things that are happening. Lu nga xam ne okay, some of them are playing that. The supply line wax nañ leen independent la ñu ñëw register te dinañ leen jox time because tey mburu su amee if there is a contamination or an outbreak of a particular condition mu jógee si mburu du supplier bi ngay laajte. The source is the bakery. So if we are securing the bakeries, the suppliers are not an island. Then enjoy a period for them to register. If not, later we will do the enforcement.
I will get back to you. Meanwhile, according to my party, this is politicized, and Charles will play that video for us.
There is a lot of clamor about increase in food and bread prices. It's quite understandable. Families are hurting. Every community is affected because bread is a very important part of our food system in the Gambia. But we need to understand one thing, and that is very important to understand because this issue of bread price increase is being over-politicized and over-exaggerated by critics from different areas. It is not a reflection of mismanagement of our economy. We must understand that the Gambia is fundamentally an import-driven economy. Almost everything that we consume here, consumer prices, everything we consume comes from another country. We are fundamentally influenced by external price. For example, bread. What goes into bread is wheat. There is a global tensions at the moment. There is Iran, there's Iran and Israel happening. There is the Russia and Ukraine war and flour. Flour is a very important aspect of all these things. So when global prices go up, flour in particular, which is not produced in this country, it is bound to affect bread prices all over the world. It's not just the Gambia. There is an increase of bread prices all over the world. It's a miracle that for all these years, since the Ukraine-Russia war started, we have struggled to maintain stability in this sector. So it is not about government mismanagement of the economy. It is about what is happening around the world. Flour is imported. It is not produced in the Gambia. And we need to import this. So therefore, the changes in international market prices is going to adversely impact what happens in the country. So it is not about the Gambia government. This is about international trade. We need to understand that now. Bread prices will go up because the price of wheat has gone up in the global market due to tensions, due to all these factors. And secondly, Gambia government does not control what happens with global market price. Gambia government does not control global shipping prices. Gambia government does not control what happens to the forest market internationally. All these things are very vital economic factors, that influence international price, which have direct impact on our local price. So we need to understand that. And I'm affected too. My family members are affected all over the country. I have friends, I have neighbors who are affected. We are all affected by this, but this is an international problem, and we must not politicize it in order to score cheap political points. Let us be realistic and be truthful on some of these issues. It is not about the Gambia government's and management economy. It is about global market price. That is the whole issue.
That was my Fatou, of course, the leader of Gambia Moral Congress. Okay. Well, one thing you mean for what duty waiver bijela for these importers. Mazakunda duty waiver dealer.
Not for importers. The duty waiver is facilitated through a tripartite agreement, facilitated by the state, given to the Bakers Union to give to importers to bring in the condition for bakers.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But duty waiver bijela, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Nyingma reflect at all do called. That's what you said.
I'm a reflect. What man?
Like ye duty waiver dealer le mol mi alon ko like cemento fenko wa fa not cemento problem.
I understand.
He's building a house and the cement scarcity and increment is affecting him.
So he understand.
So later like ye taxol bondi to le pour ka call so but amar reflect
pour ka je senandi ni ko duty waiver flour 43% duty le bakan 43% ye 20 le bondi the 23% stays
still now, but there is
yes.
Yeah. So what my Fatou is saying here is completely different from what you said. Like when it comes to ako nyimu amanke mansa kundara faulty 100%. So this is ako
I will just help you. My MMFO, he said it from an independent perspective and economically reflecting certain realities. Maybe within this sector,
it favors you at some point.
No.
So
For us, we deal with the realities. When we were putting some of these things in place, we've never spoken to any one of them.
Not opinions.
Not opinions. We go through facts ourselves. There are things that he said which is very true. The wheat price at the international market dictates a lot of things. In other countries, and it is coming here because we are going to pilot that as well, when you value...
But in other countries, do they have this 20% duty waiver?
In other countries, Senegal, for example, right now, you don't import flour. You know what they're doing?
Yeah, they have, you said they have local factories.
They have 7 factories. And these 7 factories are giving flour at a quality and quantity, and including flour, even which goes with all these other components that you are buying separately. That is one thing. And these people are directly dealing with bakers.
Okay. What did you agree and what did you not agree with my statement?
With my statement, I agree that the wheat price have changed in the international market, and the international market dictates certain things. What he said is, it's a miracle that with all these changes, the country was able to maintain up to this level and increasing only $2. Do you know what happened? The state up to now, as we speak, we make our own research without engaging any one of them, have subsidized. I stand to still be corrected. That is why flour prices in this country, even the one you import, are pegged at a particular place. It is said very, very clearly, it cannot go beyond this because they put certain measures, because bread as an essential commodity has to be easily accessible to people. But the realities that change in bread is not only flour, I said it here. What might know about bread maybe is the wheat. The amount of dollars that is gone for wheat coming to this country can equally be used, and we will have that plow back in this country through cereal local, which is happening in other countries. The cash goes to farmers, they make certain cereals, we give it to our population, it is flour, and it's healthier for you and me. So that one component is very, very right. The other components that he said, okay, from another perspective, there are things that goes with flour. You can subsidize flour, but will not just put water in flour, give it to you. It goes with other components. Those ones have risen more than 100%, some of them. So there are realities in this. What he know is what he said, but there are a lot more that he have not.
Do you think this issue of increment is politicized? Do you believe that?
No.
You don't believe that?
I don't.
Okay. Nene, what is your reaction to this?
Before that, I want to understand something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are we producing flour in this country?
Yes, we have 2 factories producing flour in this country.
Importing or producing it here?
They are backing it here. That's the right.
Let's make it, because mine said this is not produced here. You said
wheat is a raw material that is used. It's not produced here. That's correct.
Only process. The processing is.
So just like the cement. So they
are backing it here, packaging it
they
here,
will import the powder.
They buy the wheat from outside.
The wheat. They don't bring the powder.
Okay.
The wheat is what they bring outside.
Yes.
And then the machines will work on it.
Process it here.
So what are we talking about? Are we making
the wheat is
flour here, or what are we doing? I want the viewers to understand. I want to understand because I have some observations.
Okay. Flour, in a way, it is processed here. They bring the raw materials.
No, you are using 2 terms or terms that are confusing me.
Okay.
Production and processing is different.
It's different. It's processed here. That's what I
Meaning
can
it
say.
is not made here.
No, it's not.
I hope it's clear now.
Yeah, I hope it's clear. And do we have other types of bread apart from wheat?
Yes.
Coos, millet?
Yes. That is what I am saying. In Senegal right now, cereal local is one big thing.
I love it. No, I got it. That shows that Mai is misinformed. He doesn't know.
Exactly.
We will come to
Okay, Nene, what is your reaction?
Okay. First of all, I just want to commend
Mr. Dibba.
Mr. Dibba, I mean the sector through you as the Secretary General, because as you've highlighted
here, he's
here,
done a lot for them actually.
Yeah, comme li nga highlight fii nii mu ngi clearly wone fi ngeen nekkoon ak fi ngeen jaar yoon bi ngeen jaar ak fi ngeen nekka parce que den wax dëgg neex yàlla ñun I mean ñu ci bari boo leen laajee pour ñoom da nga am xaalis rek nga invest dem samp néeg tabax fuur jënda sa flour defar nga jaay you know ñu bari xamuñ woon ne comme ne structure yii nii yëpp mu ngi even in place dégg nga jékki-jékki ñu dégg ne ok mbuuru ñàkk na parce que ñu ne price dafa yokku and yii nii mbuuru ñàkk na ñëpp jooy ñëpp yuuxu and then ñu jékkee ñu ne defaraat nañ mbuuru and all that gisoon nañ fi benn time tamit biñ ne Bakers Union bi dañoo strike duñ defar mbuuru parce que price dafa war a yokku government bi ñu ne duñ yokku ñu stop defaruñ mbuuru ay fan right waaye gisoon nañ ñoo xam ne ay private individuals lañ ñu ne ñoom dañoo defar mbuuru gars yi defar nañ ñuy jaay so ñëpp di daw foofu noonu the other thing also li ma gis mooy I like the structure and ni ngeen di formalize everything li ngeen di def recognize ngeen every stakeholder in terms of your reporting line the people that are overseeing the oversight body and ñooñu ñëpp yéen a ngi leen di engage yéen a ngi wax ak ñoom pour gis ne yéen di ngeen nekk at par with the international community at least the sub-region and ni nga ko mentionné fii dem ngeen study tour Sénégal by the way man akama bëgg a mbuuru Sénégal saa yu ma fa demee indiwaale mbuuru indiwaale croissant parce que you know what dëgg bi mooy seen mbuuru bi bokkul façon
exactly
waaw it gives me what I want
I know Mr. Dibba will
te mun nañ koy am fii
waaw mun a am la and li tax ma kontaan mooy ne gis naa ne xam ngeen ne ñooñu nekk nañ ci benn level yéen it bëgg ngeen a nekk ci level boobu te ni nga ko fi explainer su dee ne loolu ngeen nekk di def loolu ngeen nekkoon di def te jubluwaay bi loolu la yaakaar naa ne di ngeen nekk at that level boobu noonu you know ñaan bi rek mooy ne mu gën a gaaw ngeen tollu foofu parce que ñun mi nga xam ne ñooy consommateurs yi we deserve better xaalis bi ñoo jël di jënd mbuuru dañ war a am our money's worth du ne jënd rek feesal biir nga ñëw am ci yeneen ak yeneen ak yeneen diabetes bi bari na you know because quality bi tam is not only quantity buuba moom mu ngi concerned about the weight man if the weight is not increased but quality bu baax I can settle with that
if buuba know the content or the amount of gluten that is in some of these products soo ko jëlee num demel you will try to understand why you need to even focus on cereal bread or whole wheat bread.
The quality instead of the quantity,
when it also comes to certain acceptable degree when it comes to heat that you need to put flour in. Okay, yeneen stomach conditions yang koy gis mu ngi bari particularly colopathie suñ ñëwee to the French one dara nekkul di ko def lu doon mburu bi am na mburu bu nga xam ne dugga na si a particular temperature because you need maximum at least 250 degrees centigrade pour mun a def mburu si a particular thing, that is the fresh dough, pour mu mun a take care of any kind of a substance bu fa nekk te pour mu mun a bañ. So yow su fekkee man maa ngi beg mburu
for time purpose,
I know su ma beg mburu at a point where man how my temperature boobu is not regulated to that level and maa ngi defar mburu si man pare na because yow da nga foog ne pare na yaa ngi koy lekk lu mu nekk di def is too much.
Okay,
we have to know that.
loolu importance la. so léegi man li may bëgg a fa ma bëgg a focus rek mooy ne regulators yi let's not see ne okay ñii they are business people, right, and ñu ngi bëgg a yokk pour am xaalis. so dañ leen di suppress because nit ko tam ku invest xaalisam in a business soo ko suppressé am na other ways yoo xam ne dina go through it. and ñun ñi ko lekka ñooy sofa because ñoom they will be seen ne ñu ngi comply with the regulations being put in place, right? It will be seen like that's the surface bi. Why at the end of the day, ñoom behind closed door, comme ni nga ko waxee, yow dem nga visit yenn bakeries, yow sa boppa d'accord loo ne loolu lu jaar na yoon. Waaye ku fa demut xamuloo, yow li nga indi the final product mburu bi nga lekk ko waaye li moo def ci yow because of ne ñu ngi try pour comply and to exist and pour yow buñ bul dóor ay sarta waaye li ñoo def tamit so nañ make sure ne nañ am this naka lañ ko xatee win-win situation because ñoom regulator si sax they have a stake and interest because ñoom tam dañ dee lekka mbuuru seen family dañoo lekka mbuuru and mboolem lu ñuy mun a def tamit nañ also measure up to outside of Gambia naka lañ koy defee because most of the time ñun mii suñ tukkee you know soo duggee si flight si sax mburu yi laa saaf foofu dañ dee kontaan nga ne caa li ma lekka nii duma ko dee lekka fi ma jógee you know so dañ dee yàkkamti pour tukki pour am experience of those things that are regulated, you know, the health and safety, the, you know, all those people ndax ñu ngi def li ñu war a def pour ensure ne ñun li ñoo lekka lii ne ko and fanaa ne you know may xam nga dëkk bii nii fii soo fi tisoolee sax ñu ngi xool sa tisooli ban kola la ban shape la ban sound la parce que political party bu nekk am nga kola am nga sa own anthem sa woy suñ ko woyee rek ñoo xam ne kii fii la bokk fii la moo support kola bi su génnee rek dañ laa associate with this particular waaye dafa am issues yoo xam ne should not even be seen with a political lens. It should be seen with a national lens. It should be seen with a humanitarian lens and not political because my voice has weight. It's a political party. Anybody else ku ñëw ne this increment or dialogue or ñàkk bread or whatever has political connotation. It's the first time may ko dégg ne may moom mu ngi ko gisee noonu. How man ak reason am ak basis am waaye léegi-léegi dañu war to be careful who we are, the things that we say and fan lam ko yóbbu. At the end of the day ñun ñooy sofa moom dina sofa ku nekk dina sofa waaye kontaan naa ne président bi ni nga ko waxee fii bi ngeen ko mitee lim leen wax dal na xel waaye tamit not only dalal xel ndax implement nañ lim wax ba nga xam ne add na value ci yéen ak ministry bi ak stakeholders si yëpp ba ñun consumer si tamit value boobu noonu mu naka ripple effect bi mu ñëw ci ñun ay wax rek ona saa nga samput kër wax bi dafa war a àndaa jëf te jëfin bi dafa war a àndaa yokkute ak jëm kanam
ñoom xam nañ suñu waxee lu nga xam ne lu ñu wax defuñ they know how we follow up
and that is very, very good. I mean, it's just a breath of fresh air sitting here and listening to you, everything else you have said. So, nekkee ne loolu tamit follow nañ ko through. Jëfee ngeen ko. Foog naa ne ñun tam dinañ gis yokkute dinañ gis jëm kanam ci mburu mi nga xam ne yéen I'm not a fan of mburu that much, but I love it also, especially when I talk. But advocating for my boy here,
kanala ko dole o muy
alga nyim fenkol mil fo ndol mburo ke la len ka domo alka you know what you are talking about
advocating for Buba sili for every morning suñu suna kan ko hate every ngoon guddi suy ñëw fii nii léegi nu mu late mu ngi téye loaf of bread ak def ci lu bare dafa daw laaxu ñuy ko ut si studio bi nekk mu ngi lekk so for sili for sake and Buba mburu bi dafa war a baax te mburu warut ñaaka you know at the end of the day ni nga ko waxee man dégg la nit ñi seen aani power si dafa miiga it's not emut waaye tamit soo ko seetloo everything else dafa yokku ni nga ko waxee the first thing cash power yokku na fi 36%
of course
right and yéen a ko use you know essence yokku na you know everything dafa yokku so everything yokku dafa war a reflect also on everything else now my limo is not government problem of course it's government's problem right and dañ war di bàyyi ba tey Gambia ñu ngi mbubboo COVID-19 pandemic ba tey dañ ko dee joxe excuse on certain thing ba tey dañoo wax the Ukraine
Israel,
Russia. Now the latest is the Iran
and Israel.
Israel. And of course, America bokk na si ñoom waanee lañ ci dugal waruñ ma ci bokka you know.
dama si wante.
man maa ko suma président la moo leen ci doon so loolu yëpp dëgg la loolu réelawut kenn ñëpp gis nañ ko waaye dëkk bu nekk it da nga war a am a fall back plan. da nga war a am plan B because yii loo xam ne la luy continuer la su lii xewee. waruloo just jóg ne mënuma ci dara parce que lii mu ngi xew feneen waaye su xewee yow lan ngaa fall back pour gis ne sa doomi askan duñ coono parce que ñun bokkuñ ci woo créatuñ woo amuñ part naka stake in the woo waaye just because doomi dëkk lañ suñ continuer on dañ war a sofa because keneen ak keneen mu ngi xew fële so ñoom seen business foofu la nekka ba nga xam ne dañ war di am plan bis fall back plan pour su yi xewee ñun su ñooy sofa sax dina nekk a small percentage waaye duñ mën a sofa 100% ba pare ñoom ñu jox extra mënuñ ci dara parce que diwa diw ñu ngi xee so foofu laa nga wax may ne foofu la government bi moo support seen business foofu la nekka seen cër foofu la nekka pour ñu gis ne lii xew feneen duñ ci duñ ne duñu sonnal de waaye tamit duñ jooy yuuxu xataraay parce que government dañoo wax ne mënuñ ci dara foofu laa bëgg a daanele.
Thank you. Bio in 5 minutes. Charles ko time bandal.
Yeah, thank you so much, Buba. The Kajaman cake and then Kajan Kuma the Bakele and Nabro Dibba, I Kumaka only for young, you know, Kuma the Bakele, Kajako, a sector like this, you organize thing because organize is very important. So they Beme Lafala ala Diamokang, Willem Yindiko as a union, now a link of many Kujama Bal set up, Niajibe from the training. The business perspective and the others. The only thing that we may laugh like the production side. Wolem Ninduko Aliakata Ale government encourage ye more with Sutal Kono, Melialanko, will say will be killer Senalality, for example, because Niajibe right now Mulgavo the price ning there are a lot of aspects Melialanko will the price is increasing, especially into Lany area jam. Niajibe before Jan Sisi Maliandolu will me fend the Melialanko a Monwaran to Lany Mafon la jam. For say Niajibe saying Sisi Maliando will waratabak and Lany Mafon la jam. And the same thing Menkam Buro Murokabu member with the same thing Sisol Fanaka Malian so Igajibe now the import Menkanana say the demand is not only Kakata Anamadunkan, but now the demanding sign atata Sisol Fanaka. So this is why basically I mean the more the demand is high, the price increase, you understand? So that is one thing I understand, and that should resonate in everyone's minds. The demand will be high. So the demand will be high. What should we do as a country? The government is doing one thing, and some of the civil society or some of the businessmen are getting into it. But Mano Mujmaka Mano Domo. But Mano the pressure is Selekang. So government and other private sectors say, look, now we have to invest into Mano. And this is why now Yamanu Kungolta in Yelo, Manu Kungol Belokang. And so many people are getting into farming. And I can also tell you, Faranyo for na Carola, flower na Carola, you understand? Najele sign, many people are in saying, Mujamal Dunkan a la Senoto. But wol jamal na melje melo dunga senoto e dunga to nyala pour la siseol na mo jamal melje e manta dunga to nyun kanko because pour faranye you know already masumul mel be bulu e masumul nyulu ye ka sise malian di fengol lel fenge so nyajibe melka farnyo ke mungoti wolu they are not buying from our local people here e ka memeng dada farnyolti ke ibonina bandal and nyajibe what we are producing here Wolela quality is even better than some of the Faranyol Melano, it can melta important. So, Melafle Melolo Nyuko, let engagement, let it doesn't let a man stop like the Minister of Trade only, but it has to go to the Minister of Agriculture. Because Prukaja goes Senola Bundanyo. Because Agel Muro, we all need to understand Muro Manke coming up to Banyo Damalem. Muro Mulkapoko Nyum Buro, I mean
even
Sano,
beans.
So what we expect now, government nyantaka step that I'm rolling into go. There is one thing maybe Diamla is talking about the economy. What sorry, Masakunda American economy though. And there is one thing we also need to understand. Import bagasol milkana before na seaports. Kulu kanale ko kulu makasambe. Kulu katara bako for so many days.
Yes.
That also filemi alonko aka masandisho aka lapale. Because the more kulu ka stay bako no, the more charges they are going to make when they bring in goods here. And that good is not only for the but like the ingredients, the bagasho me alonko wole fana kafum buro kam. It does tell nyame. Now, you post you in a poro bondile in a poro the private company. And when the private company came now, we expect something now. We at least there should be a kind of
movement that will be seen.
Because sign fenaka ke wala ka tin marsandisol da kala ba sign fenaka ke kam yalon ko we expect ko marsandisol da jirale. If marsandisol manji now, where we are going to ask now is the government. That's a tax now. It this means go any private company someone in Atale for them and the private company so katara ka balu more la sai because utumo na famro ko kunu la ka sambe ba kunu ka me ba ko but sai na famro sai kunu buga me ba ko sai bagasol canal street bagasol e bon sai na bagasol ka bondi. Now let's talk about the tax now. Masakunda faransa tax ning na ko banko tax na ka banko samba but masakunda fana nyanta ka tax jibele tax membe banko dungo brand la masakunda manya tan lo all the time so niya be manola karola ikoka eka
100% duty free.
The duty free me ya ke manola karola. Now
100%.
Is there any duty free in flour? No, there is no 100% duty free.
For rice is 100%, but flour
rice is 100%, but flour is not 100%.
Yes.
Why it is not 100%? And now, why, I mean, one thing you for is very important, and that takes me to the councils. You understand, because before we all agree this many of these bakeries ibuka tax joe before. They don't pay taxes to the councils. But now I can see now councils are collecting taxes from them.
Of course.
And when I will speak on behalf of Ntola Council, the council I am. When we came, we realized that natural tariff over I mean, bakery nyantaka tax jole. So we start saying go look nyantaka tax collectible. So when we start collecting tax from them also, nana kila situation will yokodanke. And that is why Ntola as a council we start doing a sampling. Nyaji be wala tena ni we go to Jamanjeli, we na furolo Jamanjeli. Me alonko is from the council, through the council. The Sanya Ward, Sanya Ward, I mean, Ward Development Committee, they come up with this idea.
That's good to know.
Yes, you furolo je. You furo melo I mean, Jaman Jelly je. You furo in dokule to standard. Yeah, dokule to full standard. And then, if now, they are ready now, area beta, kabe supply. And that is a pilot project for the council. We are coming to come up with more, bakery projects and the like. But also, we want to do it in a way where we will deal with the factories also. Because on the factories also, they need to play their oversight functions. The oversight functions from them should be how to empower some of
bakeries.
those bakeries also, giving them flowers without payment, the production and then if I payment on the supply chain, and the supply chain also. I like one thing you said here, that is neither Senegal. I mean, that is something Senegal will adopt and it's getting so as a union, I will create every corner. The price wise also, the price will come to $12. It was from $10, it went to $12. So the price was $12. Melaga supply okay, what is their complaint? Because Otumo, a Kamburo supply $10 before. But Nika Bondi, those Ikadila Menda. I mean, the percentage Mela Father, the 10% you make your promise, you make your profit. So Alcacha, and I'm really happy the way you guys are moving. And I will encourage you, Allah engagement, extend to the Ministry of Agriculture. Production of
Ablai? Yes, we congratulate the union and then Mr. Dibba.
Okay.
Well, for me, the most concerning thing is we need to dispel the misinformation or disinformation from my party. One, the entire problem is the government.
Okay.
Nobody should excuse them. And I'll tell you why you should not excuse them.
Okay.
This initiative, according to you, came from you people,
Yes.
largely.
Yes.
No Gambian is paying you taxpayer money for you to think.
No.
Anyone who works with the government, we pay you to think. If you don't think, you fail.
Not only think and act.
Yes, no, but it begins with thinking. Now, you who is not paid by taxpayer money, you are thinking that way. Somebody that we are giving million car and whatever, you don't think like that, and still you say, and what is economy? Economics is a behavioral science.
Of course.
And governance is a behavioral science.
Both, of
You see, it's just like you have to act this way for you to get a reaction.
Acting and reaction.
Our economy is based on the policies that the government comes up with. If the policies are bad, forget about economy. So his understanding of economy, he needs to go and read.
No, it's a lawyer.
It's wrong. That's not economics. You see, look at it. You told me here that you can have millet.
Who's
For
bread,
example.
even beans?
Yes. And who told you the Gambian soil cannot be tilled for beans and all those things? Who told you that?
Nobody.
What has the ministry done? How much of beans do we need for us to be able to supply the entire Gambia bread using beans? Why must we think about import? The reason why diaspora is suffering, and we salute them, is because they are pumping money into rocks.
Money coming, money going out.
Why? If you send us $10,000 US, we are going to use that same $10,000 US and send it back to the US company.
That's true.
It's just like you have water and you are watering a rock and you expect it to germinate something. We need to look at it sustainably. Let's enter into agriculture. This is what the ministry should be telling us, not about, okay, those who went, Barrow gave them mining license and they are, no. Think about what you should farm to be able to take care of Gambia. Now, if you don't do that, it means you are going to attract shocks to the economy, because if you want, you see, hey, God is going to continue to rain.
Of course.
If you have a leaking roof, you still say, Somalia, it means you are mad.
Yes.
Because you know, Somalia, you cannot stop it.
You have to stop the leakage.
So you work on the leakage. This bread that I have been eating is flour from wherever you people want to call it. Don't you think we should now go into something that can give us another type of flour that we can grow here?
Of course.
And forget about this duty, this, that. That is why it is the problem of the government, because they should come up with those things. The economy is affected directly because of lackadaisical government attitude and policies. They are not progressive. That is our understanding. Look, you are talking about, you see, I always tell people, come, this country is having problem. And one of the problems of this country is we are still eating. That's why the other show I told you that I don't like second hand. Why must an old tuba, sorry for using that, be reading a newspaper and Packet Africa, they wrap my bread there. And we are doing good. It affects the economy. Why does it affect the economy? It's because, yes, according to you, Kaito okay, but that Kaito has some cancer or has some other things, and when this poor guy buys and takes it, sometimes you even chew the paper itself.
That's true.
It's going to cost you another 100,000 complication. And you're going to go to that hospital. That hospital cannot treat you. You have to look for that 100,000 to go back to Turkey. So we are giving the whole money back to them after them poisoning us. So you see how that affects the economy. That is why I think, as a politician comes for season, what we don't know, fine. But I always tell people this: if you're a politician, if you want to grow, or if you want to be right, even in areas that you don't know, side with the population. Yes. Because their interest is what makes you a politician. Look, if I am to buy 10 loaves of bread, $12, that's how much? If it is 10, it's 120. 120 by 30, that's how much?
A lot.
3,000 plus.
Yes.
How many police officers are getting that? And and that's bread only. Cash power has not come. So looking at these things tells you who is responsible. You talk about NAWEC. Who increased NAWEC? Is it the farmer or you? Is it not the government? Yeah. Now, how does the government not have a role in mismanaging our economy? They have mismanaged everything. Because the first thing they mismanage is their thinking. They mismanage their brain. So if that brain does not work, everything goes the other way around. So that is why we should blame it on government entirely. You have said that, Morkesi said, our brother, our father said, this type of organization is 1 in a million. And we should take opportunity of that. But he is the one who has been paid to be thinking, but he has not been thinking. So that is why everything goes back to them. Let us look at our country and promote indigenization. So for you, see, for me, believe it or not, I don't know whether Trevor will give me a chance to be a counselor, for example, one day. But if I can, be like, even this shoe is not coming from Senegal. I don't know army. 10 in this specialized area, 10 in this specialized. When they come back, we are going to work. No joke.
Leadership.
No joke. We can do it. We can make it.
That's what Senegal is doing.
But what are we doing about that? Hey, I always tell these people and they think I'm lying. No. Go to trade economics or UN trade whatever.com. Senegal, what Gambia is bringing from Senegal is up to $500 million US.
Yes.
Only for cement and rod. I'm not talking about what women are going to buy and this thing. No. This cement and cement-related products and rods. Entirely what Senegal is taking from us. Entirely in all lines of products.
So just to add, go to supermarkets and see juice that come from Senegal.
So
the labels now.
Senegal, they can think more than us.
So why their economy will not rise more than us?
This is it.
This is the point.
So that is why we are saying they mismanage the economy. And when the economy is mismanaged, it's mismanaged. That's why we are telling Taliban the other day. Farming is not the guy who is actually tilling the soil. It's about the guy they are thinking and bringing up policies and creating the enabling environment. If that farmer fails, the policy farmer fails, the practical farmer is going to fail.
Awfully.
And this is exactly what happened. So as politicians, we should not be siding with government for things that are not realistic.
Okay.
The truth is the government's problem entirely.
Okay.
You like it or not? But I don't like this bread they wrap this paper. I don't like it. Let us begin to reject it from the shopkeepers.
I like it for now.
Yes.
Maybe.
So your problem will not be solved. Your problem will not be solved. What is our problem here?
You see what it is, and because you are hungry, you will be,
that. Buba, there are other places you go now, other bakeries I will make mention of. For example, when you go to Brosdore in Dakar, if you see the number of people queuing for bread, special breads of certain quality, they have papers that are put decently.
They use special papers.
Special papers. When it comes to packaging for bread at other places, you cannot even dare use this.
Time
these
of
papers.
So
they put it in package.
Bob,
okay.
Sorry, you did not talk about health here.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, the health and safety, you know.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about is.
He said, I admit like furo dol bijele ila standard is bad. He admitted that.
Oh, okay. And what are people doing about that?
For us, even before food safety, we give notice.
So it's like from all this discussion, you are very much critical and important than those that taxpayer is funding.
We take decisions as citizens of this country in the way and how we can do, and we don't wait for anybody to do that for us.
You know, I think Kabling Fenke, I used to interact with the other, your president, the other one. Boydo was there before Tijan, I think.
Yes, Boydo was for Tapalapa, and Sankano was for Senfur.
Okay, then. Now it is together.
Together, it now is one.
No, this current union is doing very good.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Stop using the paper.
Thank you.
Stop using the paper and licking the
mayonnaise. I will not agree that he will say his body bunka, so he continue doing that. No. No. Maybe I didn't hear him call the steering, so all I didn't know. Okay.
Headline news. Oh yeah, they need to manage the ticket. Mismanage of the ticket. Wow, headline. Please, they need to manage the ticket.
And please, Bob, let's ask the job that we are doing. On the whole, it's not a small job. I was thinking it's a very small job. No. We are asking for prayers, serious prayers.
It's a big job.
Yeah, it's a big job. Imam Wal,
Thank you so much, guys.
And pastors and everybody,
But before you close, I want to give
Tell me
shout out to my hair designer, Nanding USA.
Nanding, okay.
You know, she's on TikTok, on Facebook. She's the one that sent this hair, every glam.
Is the same Nanding Minga Fenkodi Kasawa?
Nanding Jalo, Kasanyo, Fatou.
She's a very good person.
Exactly, she supports us every time. All the ladies here, she doesn't deal with men, so just brace up.
And we are not happy, Nanding.
All the ladies here, you know, when you see hair that is as glamorous as this nice, zoom the ball, you know, the blonde and everything else, it's all Nanding. You need hair of any type, please contact Nanding, and she is gonna hook you up. So Nanding daf dey japp to just keep me to continue to remain my position as the real queen. So thank you, Nanding, my girl. I love you.
Thank you so much, Nanding. Na barka bage be danale janelta APS abo download
en control ni APS
APS la condition la Gambia banko kanje to le nyum programme fasa ka 70 yendi al kodo ki through APS la sonata bakele na le abo so rasi kaspa wa sanno jari credit ko be kero fayna ka korda wa fole ke Gambia banko kanjang e dabe nyonta ko kono le bili alon ke korda wa fi dulal beto ni laftala donc korda lori bandi ngol kene kensengol be buli ka lono wala to le nying programme fasa e to ning APS nge tendu ke jay bake al nying compagnie ani buna fala momo ka grand bantaba noma ni ba jibe kan Facebook style sen mole bade ni ba jibe kan YouTube subscribe na YouTube channel ola Charles Elvis Ngom Lamin Diallo Samsidine Bojang mi to lemuda camera to anim masingol to Sire Drame kara fokasa Jawara Fati gebe tendu ke jay bake arjuma na la lembe murana le ni ala kititala bye bye.
CareFinder is a real estate company that focuses on property development within the Gambia. We pride ourselves with providing not just quality and durable houses, but also state-of-the-art designs tailored to our clients' tastes and expectations. Our unique experience and expertise is second to none in the industry. We are currently building and selling 3-bedroom bungalows at Sukuta Traffic Lights and Jabang. We're also building and selling 3-bedroom story buildings at Sukuta Paradise. Other sites are also in the pipeline. With CareFinder, payment options are available. With just 40% deposit, you can get your house started. For more information, contact us on 329-5188, 727-0049, 709-8418. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at CareFinder. With CareFinder, you are assured of a secure investment.
Nyatimbo ntemu APS leti. Ndemu APS leti. APS Gambia lemu APS ti. Katun APS is 100% Gambian.
bari ñati moy ku furi mbala kan tala di ke ñati bon tari taba futu wala at least ya fonte ko APS min kullo balbi ji imo fon fonya fon ka fonya ko ibina do ibodo ko APS jam fane mo fana fonya ñati mo yo min fo yenda sija ndanga moy ko APS wallet isa ko do kino min tata fa wuli mo ime caaji fenna wala nta sindi jam
Ako ñati mo ngoy ko kabo transito kata wala fo wuli mo ite fenne dola womu zero file bitun kabo wo 20,000 la ka sele sal eke tamuna eke charge mun fa abuka fensi 1% da malam bati
wota yara gamen no be nyanta wala kana APS wala tele mobile ko ka ko do ki ibadi ngol
ya de ni APS kabrin nan credit ko to bari men kum mayata be wala fa mo kas pawat ni suto be during suto be dibini abe tema biti kol sonda ila APS mobile lo sika ni asika don ya safe da men ko fen ko atondi nawek
ha
ni oto je nyamen don tachi ama ni ama don abanta ila kas power isa hawasima ajibe free joriti je
oto mbaɗe Gambia no albe sito wulle fisiyata alnaleta APS wallet yela lambaylo kon APS wallet ñaata doro barin koto nim fotata suwo kon to
dañu be fo no le mol ñala jam nim fotata suwo kon mba fo le
basiti je mbita ndori gi sajede kadu sa APS 100% namunti
APS 100%
APS
Gambia 100%.